conflicting reports weather-wise. You can see there's a strong wind blowing right now, and there's some overcast skies here at the ballpark. We're hoping to get baseball in. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 81 degrees, 62% humidity. The UV index, Paul, is high.
I was going to say, I bet it's up there today.
And the forecast, scattered showers and thunderstorms. So we'll cross our fingers and hope that we get this game in.
I really feel part of that weather forecast, and we've added the UV index.
We're going to put that
added
up
something
during the 3 games in Tampa Bay, Tropicana Field. We're going to put the UV index up. Anyway, Sergio Mitre is taking his warm-up tosses. Let's take a look at the A's starting lineup that he will face. Adam Kennedy, the third baseman, leads off. The shortstop, Orlando Cabrera, bat second. He's been hot the last 14 games. Scott Hairston's at left. Jack Cust, the DH, is going to clean up. Batting fifth and catching, Kurt Suzuki. Ryan Smeedy's in right field. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing first base, Derek Barton. Mark Ellis at second base will bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing center field is young Eric Patterson.
On the mound, Sergio Mitre, 28 years old. He had one start. He won the game in a Yankees 6-4 win, going 5 2/3, gave up 3 earned runs. So there you see his stats in the one start. Let's take a look at the G pitcher scatter report. Super sinker. Almost 60% of his major league career starts, 53 of them are on the ground ball outs. Very good sinker. Run with it. He's got an opportunity. It's knocking. He's got a chance to solidify the 5th spot and make it to. Over the past 5 seasons, only 3 Yankees have won their first 2 starts as coming over to the club. Aaron Small, Darryl Rasner, and A.J. Burnett.
And Al is right. He's got an opportunity to grab this by the throat and take this spot in the rotation. So he's ready. Adam Kennedy is ready. Final game of a 10-game homestand. And let's do it here in the Bronx as the right-hander deals. The pitch is low, and we are underway. Kennedy 1 for 9 so far in this series. And there's a strike. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. The 1-1. Outside 2-1.
Wow, you see the movement on that pitch, Alan. Sometimes as a pitcher, you get so much movement, it's almost hard to control. And you've seen a couple pitches out of his hand. I mean, fastballs. These aren't off-speed pitches with a ton of movement on them.
Lofted into left field, coming on Johnny Damon, and he'll make the play on the run.
There's a sneaky deception that Sergio Mitre has. We'll watch some velocities today in the upper 80s, low 90s, but you get weak hacks as that one there, just a flailing fly ball to left field because of that late movement.
In case you just joined us and you did not tune in on the pregame show with Kimberly Jones, the Yankees received some bad news today as Brett Gardner is on the DL. He broke his left thumb trying to break up a double play in the first inning yesterday. Stayed in the game. That one's over the leaping try of Mitre, right over second base into center field. A base hit for Cabrera. He now has a 7-game hitting streak. Let's take a look at how Gardner got hurt. Let's see if we can see anything. It's his left thumb.
Hit on the bag.
That's probably it. Now, he did not tell Joe Girardi even after that, and hit a triple, had 2 great catches in center field. After the game, he said that it was bothering him. They took an x-ray. There's a little bit of a chip of the bone, and they put it in a cast, and they'll reevaluate after 2 weeks. The Yankees called up Jonathan Albaladeo, but they have to make a move to get another outfielder up here. Right now, they just were concerned about this game, and they'll see exactly what they're going to do to bring up another outfielder. Here's Scott Hairston. A little bit low. It will not be Austin Jackson, Joe Girardi said, the Yankees' highly touted outfielder. He said he wouldn't play all the time. He said, why would I want to slow his growth? At this point, that's not the direction that we're headed.
Does that stunt your growth when you get called up to the big leagues? Huh? Is that it? You get called up at 5'8", you end up at 5'8"? Huh?
Only if you sit a lot.
And he would be sitting a lot. The 1-0. Grounded foul. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Damon, Cabrera, Swisher, left to right. Ransom, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira, A-Rod, has his 1 day off this week. Posada behind the plate, and Sergio Mitre is on the mound. One. Now you might say, well, Gardner wasn't playing all the time anyway. That's a loss for the Yankees. Gardner means a lot to this team. He's a burst of energy whenever he's in there. Whenever he's on base, he's a threat to steal. He plays a very good center field. That is a tough loss.
You know, and I think part of that, Michael, is the competition. He won the starting center field job at his spring training, kind of pushing Yankee, and both of them having pretty good years.
It was funny, Michael, you talk about all the things he does for the team, and we went over a few things yesterday. You know, if this was a playoffs, or, you know, this was a huge game down the road, you know, you might not even DL Brett Gardner. He still has his legs. He could still run. He could still probably do some things. So, I mean, obviously this is a move in the middle of the season that, you know, you need bodies up here. But, you know, he does so many things just with his speed and his ability to steal bases and score runs.
The 1-2. Because we think alike, Paul, I actually asked Girardi, was there ever any consideration to let him play through it? Because he got a triple and made 2 great catches with it. He said, well, we thought about it. He said, but if it heals incorrectly, then you have to have surgery. Then you lose him for the whole season. He said, so we'd rather just put him in the cast for 2 weeks and see how it goes.
And you mentioned about his speed. Remember the Red Sox picking up Dave Roberts, that big stolen base late in the ALCS?
Runner goes. Pitch is low. And a stolen base for Orlando Cabrera. These are the plays that Gardner made after he hurt. And believe me, that's not an easy play. Now, his broken thumb is on the bare hand. And that's slamming down into the ground as well. So those 2 plays were in the same inning.
You know, it's funny because looking back, it's 2 things that I did throughout my career is I broke both thumbs, and they were both diving for balls. And they're really not that painful, but the next day it's sore, and what happens is you lose strength in your hands. And
that one is driven deep to left center field. That's going to split the outfielders and go to the wall. Cabrera will score easily, and Scott Hairston's at second with an RBI double. Orlando Cabrera has really been hobbling around this entire series, but he's swinging a hot bat, so they keep him in the lineup.
Oh, he's doing so many things. He's catching the ball, he's scoring runs, and you're right, he's putting just good at bat after at bat. Harrison gets a pitch to hit, drives it out in left center field. Open on the board again, but you know, back to the thumb problem with Gardner, you lose so much strength. You see, talking about Michael, you talking about his knee. You see, he is gimping around, but it's hard with this organization, especially if they plan on possibly training him down the road. You know, you got to get him in the lineup, and other teams have to see how good he is and how hot he is at the plate.
But from the looks of that, I would think that's the reason why he's playing, because he's one of the few veteran players at this Oakland team that's not going anywhere in the standings that has a shot at getting traded.
Here's Jack Cust. And I think that one crossed up Posada. He was reaching one way, the ball went the other. So he's going to go out and talk with Mitre with a runner at second. Looks like they didn't have their sign straight.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You see that glove expecting that sinker to keep going away, and it ends up jumping across the plate because it's a breaking ball. And a lot of people don't understand if you don't read the seams, and that's the only thing that helped Jorge Posada right there catch that ball, is picking up the ball halfway. You might expect the sinker, but you see the spin of a breaking ball, and you adjust late.
And it's easier for a catcher to expect a fastball and catch a breaking ball than the reverse.
The 1-0.
You know, Jack Cust, we're talk about him, and this is a strange combination. I mean, you don't see this very often. 51.5% of his time, he either strikes out or walks. He led the team last year with 197 strikeouts, and he led the team also with 111 walks, which is a strange combination. Team leader, I mean, he's their power guy now. I mean, he's 33 home runs last year, led the team in RBIs. And, you know, with no Holiday being traded and Giambi on the DL, he's really the lone threat for the Oakland A's to put one in the seats. It took me a lot of time, Michael. Did you get anything out of it?
I did. I learned something from that. They turn him loose on 3-0, and he lines one into left field, a base hit in front of Damon. Tries to get the out at third, but Harrison's there, so a base hit for Cust. Runners on first and third with just one out.
Sinker up and away. Anytime a sinker is in this level range, it's not where Sergio Mitre wants it. But in the 3-0 count, he's also just trying to establish a strike to get back into the at bat. Jack Cust taking it the other way.
You know, we were talking about Gardner, and Alba Ladeo was called up today. There are three outfielders at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Yankees AAA affiliate. Austin Jackson, who is their future, 311, 4 homers, 38 ribbies, 17 stolen base. Then good old Shelley Duncan, who's put together some season, 270, 25 homers and 75 ribbies. And then the veteran John Rodriguez, 283, 12 homers and 44 ribbies. Now, the only problem with Duncan and Rodriguez, they're not on the 40-man roster. So you'd have to move an injured player onto the 60 to make room, or move somebody off the 40 to move those guys onto the 40, then get them to the 25. And the Yankees have a day or so to work that out. Here's Kurt Suzuki with a runner on first and third with one out. There's a strike to the A's catcher. He has a 5-game hitting streak. He's 6 for 19. The 0-1. Hot shot up the middle and off the glove of Cano and into center field. A run will score, and the A's lead 2-0. That could have and should have been an inning-ending double play. It was hit hard, but it was a play that Cano usually makes.
Yeah, again, Michael, you say you're so accustomed to seeing Robbie just come up with this thing with his good hands, but it comes off the dirt. And sometimes when it gets off the mound, you know, it puts a kind of on an overspin on the ball. And you see that kind of get a short. It's almost like that rubber ball in the parking lot. It kind of bounces forward, and I think that kind of tricked Robbie. But you're right. If he comes up with that ball, it's an easy double play.
Top spin.
Yeah, so a little overspin. Huh?
Well, they're going to give him a base hit, so that'll extend his hitting streak to 6 straight. And there's a breaking ball to Ryan Sweeney for a strike. A wet first inning for Sergio Mitre. And it's still going on. 4 hits in a row. Single, double, single, single. And it's 2-0 A's. The 0-1. Count 1-1. Let's take a look at the umpires for tonight's game, or today's game. Dan Iasonia behind the plate. Charlie Relaford is at first. Larry Vanover at second. And Sam Holbrook over third.
But right now for Sergio Mitre, he's got to get honed down with that sinker down in the zone. So far he's been elevated up. That's not a good combination. There's some good movement there.
Well, you've, been in this situation. Obviously, you had a cutter and a curveball that were, mainstays in your pitching. But when you're sinker, you can't rely on it for ground balls when it starts getting hit as line drives. How early in the game you're like, oh, I better get a new game plan here.
Well, you start introducing your third and fourth pitch. He's been basically a sinker, slider, occasional changeup. What you normally do is try to back off a little bit. Whenever that 90-mile-an-hour sinker, just throw 87. 88, whatever that is, to get in the count and get the movement to it. Right. You know this, if you still have a sinker, whether it's 92, obviously more effective, less time to react, and at 88, but it's sinking as opposed to sailing, it's harder to hit.
Yeah, that sailing fastball is such an easier pitch to hit. You still have movement, but it's movement like horizontal, and it just, especially to a left-hander from a right-handed sinker ball pitcher, it's very easy to drive the ball the other way. But when you start getting that downward movement, then it's a whole different game.
Count 1-2 on Sweeney. Tap slowly toward Jeter. They get one, that's all they get. As Cust moves to third and Sweeney reaches on the fielder's choice.
See, that was the nice movement that Sergio Mitre needs in order to get effective results with the ground balls. I had some late movement down in the zone. Just didn't hit it hard enough for Derek Jeter and Cano to turn it. What's a movement down here? Posada's glove, down and away, perfect. Bang it into the bunting circle. Just didn't hit it hard enough. That'd have been a double play.
Here's Derek Barton. Barton, 2 for his last 17, 0 for 11 in this series. First and third, now 2 outs. Just underway at the stadium. Grounded foul. 3 for 30 overall. And the 0-1. Soft ground ball to second base. Cano is right there, and that'll do it for the A's. But they score 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. The A's 2, and the New York Yankees coming to bat.
Making his 21st start. Very good numbers. 3.4 ERA, very respectable, especially American League. His 78 strikeouts. He puts a lot of balls in play. Let's take a look at the pitcher's scouting report. Very confident. Here's a guy, he's changes speeds. He's not overpowering, but he's got a presence about him. Say out in front, his fastball's upper 80s, low 90s. He's going to throw a lot of sliders, curveball. He's got a very good changeup and a great pickoff move. He's got a step-off move. Hasn't allowed a stolen base in his last 147 innings.
See his team picture there? Isn't that the kind of the look that you get from like your 15 or 16-year-old when they've done something wrong and you've questioned them? It's like, you know, you're not driving your car tonight, and that's the way they look at you.
Like tough.
Well, you know, we'll see this picture, I'm sure, but it reminded me of my son looking at him.
Derek Jeter jumps on the first pitch and lines a single to center field. That's a 6-game hitting streak for Jeter. Let's take a look at the A's defense, brought to you by the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Hairston, Patterson, Sweeney, that's left to right in the outfield. Kennedy with 1 error in 22 games. He's at third. Cabrera, Ellis, and Barton short to first. Suzuki behind the plate. And Braden is on the mound. Leading off this year, Derek Jeter's hitting .337 in the first inning, entering today, so that just got higher as Johnny Damon fouls one off. Yankees finally had their winning streak snapped yesterday, their first loss since the All-Star break. And just had the feeling they would have come back, though. They were down by 2. And Andrew Bailey walked the first 2 batters in the 9th inning, and it looked like a rally was on its way. But Jorge Posada banged into a double play, and that took some of the starch out of the rally, and they ended up not being able to finish the climb inside. Damon has a 7-game hitting streak, 9 for 27, still sitting on 199 home runs. Lifetime. Count 2-1. Dallas Braden is 26 25 years old. He's going to be 26 in August. But it's the 94th game the A's have pitched this year with a pitcher under the age of 26. The 2-1. So you know how young a staff is when the 25-year-old is the grizzled veteran.
Yeah, he's been up and down a little bit the last couple of years. And yeah, you're right, Michael. He is considered the veteran starter. They had Justin Ducher, who was really premier guy that's been hurt most of all this year.
And Damon works a walk. Well, here is Mark Teixeira, and that gives us time to look at yesterday's G moment. And Mark Teixeira made everyone go, gee, I wonder if that's going foul. It didn't. It stayed fair into his own personal playground. Teixeira's terrace, and that was the G moment from yesterday's game. Now he spins over to the right side against the lefty Dallas Braden. Strike.
I'll tell you, if you come in as a Yankee hitter, not feeling real comfortable on left-handed pitching, well, this is going to be a tough series for you. They just keep firing out left-handed starters at you.
3 out of 4 last 3 games. And yesterday, really, Gio Gonzalez, he talked about the pregame scout report. He ended up going into the 7th inning, only gave up 2 runs. Coming off a game where he gave up 11 in less than 3, 4 home runs against Minnesota. But when you have young arms and not much history, you never know. This can still spin a gem.
Popped up and out of play behind the plate.
We talked about that for the first 3 games here. Vin Mazzaro, the local kid from New Jersey, and Brett Anderson, who actually has the best stuff of this staff. Second game. This is where the A's are. Kurt Young, the pitching coach, next to Bob Garrett, the manager. We'll work it out. See who's going to be their starters for next year.
The 1-2. Inside, 2-2. Last 9 games for Teixeira, 11 for 34. That's 324, 4 homers, 8 ribbies, tied with Carlos Pena for the most home runs in the American League with 25. Off-speed pitch at Teixeira way out in front, 1 down.
You saw Bob Garrett, when we saw him giving signs, he gave the sign over to Kennedy, look for him being out in front. That's because of Braden's good off-speed pitch.
He's got a changeup and then a screwball. That ball ended up cutting. Almost looks like a slider. The effectiveness of a great changeup. You see Teixeira out in front on his front leg there, not being able to at least foul it off. That's a good pitch. Changeups, arm speed, it has everything to do with the deception.
You see Cody Ransom running over there. Is that a slider or changeup? And the hitter knows what it was. But sometimes from the side you can't tell. But you knew it was off speed. But you want to know exactly what this guy's going to go to in a strikeout situation.
Goes out of grounds, 1 foul on a pretty play by Rob Thompson, the third base coach. Short hop, obviously bare hand. They should give gloves to the coaches.
It'd be too easy down there.
Check this play out. Really well done. That was in slow-mo, though. Count 0-2.
Well, Jorge thoughts today of wishing his father happy birthday. He's turning 70. Jorge is the second, so his father must be no, he's the third, so his father must be the second. Huh? Jorge the second. So happy birthday. 70 years old. He's a baseball guy. What do you want?
He's a former scout for the Rockies. I'm not sure if he's still.
His uncle too, right? He's an uncle.
Yeah.
Hitting coach somewhere.
A's lead 2-0. First and second for the Yankees, 1 out against Dallas Braden. And that one's popped up. And the infield fly rule was called for the second out. And And that's going to bring up Hideki Matsui. Good numbers in 40 games lifetime against the A's. But Hideki just 3 for 24 on this homestand, and the Yankees have still won 8 of the 9 games. Jeter remains at second, Damon at first. Down 1-0.
Talking about Dallas Braid, a guy that's going to come at you with all of his pitches in the first inning. He's only given up 2 runs in 24 starts, and that goes back to September 08. And this is the reason why, when there's not much history, hitters have to kind of wait him out, figure out what the break is and what he's throwing.
Line drive, that's a base hit to left field. Jeter will run third. He'll score. Yankees on the board. The A's now lead 2-1. RBI single for Matsui.
I can change that to 3 of 25 now, Paulie.
We've seen over Matsui's career with the Yankees, always been pretty good in runners in scoring position. He stays back, kind of fights off a fastball inside. Professional piece of hitting, I guess you'd call it. These are ones that make you mad as a pitcher, Al, aren't they? You make your pitch, you get in on him a little bit.
But he did make this pitch. It was a fastball away. Suzuki set up away. It ended up being middle of the plate. Watch where Suzuki set up. This ends up being missing in. But good hitting, yeah. Not trying to do it to a whole lot. You see guys that are middle, gap to gap. Hard to get those guys out.
Here's Nick Swisher. And the pitch outside, 1-0. With that base hit, Matsui's batting average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position is now at .303. That's a telling stat. Those 2-out hits are big. Pitch outside. I think 2-out hits really annoy pitchers more than anything because they're right there getting out of it.
2 outs, runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
Was that the?
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Because that's the time when the better pitchers will make their pitch. Obviously, they realize that a mistake is going to be a run or a ball that's going to be hit hard. And for the hitter, how you stay relaxed in those situations is really what makes you.
Well, hitting with running scoring position, I mean, that's the fun part of the game. I mean, you know that if you get a hit, you're going to put some marks up on the scoreboard, and that that's what winning and losing is about. Scoring runs.
Swisher walks on 4 pitches. That's going to load the bases for Cano. And Kurt Young wants to talk with Dallas Braid. This chiropractic telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Bases loaded with the Yankees. Damon, Matsui, Swisher third to first. And here is Cano. Cano with 14 home runs and 49 runs batted in. Yankees are down 2-1. We're in the first inning. And the pitch. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Kennedy toward the stands. Runs out of room.
It's funny, Michael. You talked about first day in that Robbie Cano was out working on a pitch, and he said he wasn't real comfortable with that ball in, and he had Tony Pena throwing a lot, and that seems to be the scouting report. As you watch the series, and the first pitch on him right there, you see was a fastball in, and sometimes when you get out there as a hitter too quick, you just don't get to him. I mean, it's a pitch when he's on that he'll hit really hard, but right now that seems to be the scouting report on Robbie early in the count, or even with runners in scoring position, to get that ball in on his hands. And you see he's just late, not getting his arms extended to that pitch.
And the 0-1. Down the other way. 0-2.
And he tried to come back to the same pitch, and he missed out over the plate again. But again, Robbie didn't quite get to it. And now with back-to-back pitches in Robbie's mind now you've kind of set up the whole plate.
Boy, that ended up being a way. Watch they set up in outside corner. That's a cutting fastball. Based on what you're saying, Paul, I think if you're Dallas Braden, you're just going to keep going in there.
This will be the 24th pitch of the inning.
See, I'm looking for that slider away, Al. Come on, now you just busted me in twice. The thing is,
he's not showing that he's getting to it.
The thing is intentionally he went inside the first time. The second pitch he missed, but it was inside. But in the hitter's mind, you didn't know where the target was, so you're thinking, oh, he's going to try to get me in, and then you go away with the breaking ball, and then you might end up in again.
Now we mentioned Matsui's over 300 in these spots, but Cano hitting just 192 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. The 1-2. That average might go up, driven into right center field, and Patterson can't make the play. That could clear the bases. Here comes Swisher. Here's the throw. He's in there. Cano goes for 3. Overslides the bag. He is out, but the Yankees get 3 runs on Cano's bases clearing double. So the Yankees answer the A's 2 runs with 4 of their own. Cano hits one into the gap in right center field. Patterson with a quick jump makes the dive, can't make the play. It gets past him. Sweety's backing up. By the time the ball The Hall of Fame induction takes place in Cooperstown. Jim Rice, in his last year of eligibility, just made it. Of the Boston Red Sox, and Ricky Henderson, who had 5 real productive years with the Yankees, he makes it on his first attempt. Joe Gordon, also elected by the Veterans Committee. Tony Kubek gets him for broadcasting. Nick Peters for journalism. Pretty impressive class. Mark Ellis will lead off. And there's a strike. Now, Al, you played with Ricky. What type of teammate was he? He was a heck of a player.
Fun. The first thing I think of is his laugh and his smile. And really just always having a good time, Michael. Just laughing. No matter what you'd say, enjoyed himself. I played when I first came up with the Yankees and also with the Blue Jays and the Mets.
Well, his speech today might be one of the most highly anticipated speeches because Ricky has fun with the language. And look at that resume.
Intentionally or unintentionally?
Unintentionally has fun with the language. And I know a lot of people, once he got elected, they said, oh, we can't wait to hear Ricky's speech. His numbers speak for themselves. I mean, just magical numbers, magical player. And there are several stories out there about Ricky, some that he tried to clear up yesterday. One of them, John Olerud used to be a teammate with the Mets. And John Olerud always would wear a helmet when he was playing first base. And here's some highlights from Ricky's career. Started with the Oakland Athletics. and he just knew how to steal bases. He was a magician at it. Had 5 big years with the Yanks. Mark Ellis lost a fly ball to center, one away. Anyway, the story goes that Ricky's on another team and gets on base, and Olrud's at first base wearing a helmet. Ricky goes, wow. He goes, I used to have a teammate on the Mets that wore a helmet when he played first base. And Olrud goes, that was me. Ricky said that never happened. But one story that's out there that Ricky did say was the truth. His first big bonus check he ever got was $1 million from the Oakland Athletics. They sent him a check for $1 million. And he put it in a frame, and I put it right by his door. And he said that I wanted to know that when I left the house every day, I was a millionaire when I left the house. And he never cashed the check until the A's called him at the end of the year, and their books were imbalanced. He said, Ricky, what's going on? He goes, well, I didn't cash the check. You got to cash the check. So he finally did and got a photocopy of it and still has it up on his door. So Ricky's a different dude.
There's an expiration date on that $1 million.
I guess so. He also wasted a year of interest.
Well, now that wouldn't matter.
Really? Not much interest now.
How to save money, you never know.
1%, 2%.
The 2-0 to Patterson. Grounded to first. Did you ever pitch against Jim Rice at all? Or was that?
Yes.
What did you think of him, Al?
I hit him in the kneecap. I thought he was going to come out and
snap you in half. He was a big, strong fellow.
I don't remember a whole lot of bats. It was this early on. You know, I look at that 94%, and we just showed the resume. Like, which are the voters that say, no, he's not a Hall of Famer?
I've always wondered. I mean, there were people that didn't vote for Tom Seaver. And he has the highest percentage ever. But I think there are just some writers that think that there's nobody that's worthy of being a unanimous selection, which is silly. And I think it makes the voting writers look bad. It really does. How's Ricky Henderson not a Hall of Famer? How's Tom Seaver not a Hall of Famer?
Well, if Greg Maddux doesn't get 100%, well, then there's something wrong.
Well, Greg Maddux, you said? Well, Joe D didn't even make it his first ballot. Well, Tom Seaver's a better pitcher than Greg Maddux. He didn't make it.
2 years ago, Ripken went in. Was he 100%?
No, no one's ever been.
Oh.
No one has ever been.
That makes a lot of sense, too.
The 2-0. Line drive, base hit for Adam Kennedy.
See, it's you writers, Michael.
I never got a chance to vote because you have to be a writer for 10 straight years, and I left after 7. Tomorrow's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios, this is big. A.J. Burnett will start the Yankees' long road trip. A.J.'s 9-4, 3.74. James Shields of the Rays, 6-6, 3.70. Our coverage will start at 6:30 game time, right around 7:10. There's A.J. The Rays had some comeback yesterday. They're on 8-0 and 9-1, ended up winning the game. There's a breaking ball strike that Orlando Cabrera was jumping out of the way from. And as for Tony Kubek, I got a chance to work with him a little bit when the MSG Network first got the rights to the Yankee games. A phenomenal baseball man. Just a great broadcaster as well. Long overdue, and congratulations to Tony and his family as he gets in.
Yeah, he was the announcer right when I got here over to the Yankees. And if there's a couple guys that you just turn on the TV and they sound like a Saturday afternoon baseball game, Tony Kubek being one, and Jim Cotton, our former guy up here. I mean, it's just, you're used to their voice and they're used to hearing them do baseball games. 24 years with NBC doing the game of the week. And Cabrera grounds one to Jeter. Tough hot. And Jeter goes the short way to get the force on Kennedy, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's 4-2 Yanks.
I got a little surprise for you, Paul O'Neill. Speaking of the Mohegan Sun, I think you're going to be impressed. As a birthday present for my sister, she loves Barry Manilow. He's going to be at the Mohegan Sun on August 15th, so I got her a couple of tickets, and I'm going to.
Sing it, Paulie.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. You know what you do? You got to close your eyes and put yourself back in the mid-70s,
Right,
you know?
right.
And you're at the basketball team dance, and you're dancing with your girlfriend.
And Neville's got the prom dress on.
No, she had a cheerleading skirt on. You kidding me?
Cheerleading.
It was red and gray,
yeah.
too. Clinton Eagles. Huh? Big stuff.
Now, was your first slow dance to Mandy?
Might have been.
Wow. Strong. Popped up by Melky Cabrera. Suzuki's there, one away.
You know, back in the old days, some of the songs were only a couple minutes. So if you got a slow song that was 3 or 4 minutes, it's
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to
Well,
Heaven.
that went on for like.
Yeah, but they didn't
moved
that
in.
wasn't a slow dancing song, Al. Come on.
Sure it was. Stairway to Heaven is the slow dancing song.
But then by the end of it, you're banging your head against the wall, man. I still wanted to be holding my girlfriend, you know.
Here's Cody Ransom. And there's strike. Big news out of White Plains that the Frankie's birthday went very well.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what
42
we're hearing.
treated us well. We walked in, Frankie's name's on the menu. Anthony hooked us up. What a place.
That one is driven out to right field. And Ransom is retired.
So with all that PR, a couple free bottles of red. But
You know what? It was just a great night, great meal. Michael must have called ahead for us or something, you know?
Well, I had actually, I had called ahead with my credit card. Did they put the whole thing
They
on?
did. I
Nice.
appreciate that. Huh?
That's what I think of you, buddy.
Flip, it's coming your way.
No, Gene Monahan tending to his right cheek. Don't know what happened there. And pitch to Derek Jeter's low. 1-0.
And A-Rod's over there like Angelo Dundee, making sure everything's all right, getting back in there.
A-Rod, big birthday party yesterday.
I heard that.
And many of the team members showed up at his home and had a big celebration. He's going to be 34 tomorrow. So on his last day as a 33-year-old, he's off. Looks like Melky might have got hit on the side of the face somehow. Four-2 Yankees lead.
Clip with a bat or something sometimes. I don't know.
And the 3-1. Foul tip, 3-2.
I remember one time that we had a celebration. Mattingly got a hit to beat Boston. So, you know, you were running out there and, you know, kind of jumping around like little leaguers do. And I get in the clubhouse, and I've got this big gash across the top of my nose. And I'm thinking, you know, I wasn't even part of it. What happened? Well, Mattingly had, like, headbutted me with the brim of his helmet. I walk over to him like, Cap, this is real nice, you know. Nice hit, by the way.
Jeter works a walk. Now I'm going to put you on the spot because I know you always talk glowingly about Mattingly.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a lot of great teammates. Who's your favorite teammate ever with the Reds and the Yanks?
Can you have it just ever, period?
Ever. Was it Donnie?
Donnie's up there. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, it's at different times in your career and different teams is why it's so hard to just pick one person.
I told you it was a hard question.
Yeah, it was.
How was Jeter? Good
He was
teammate?
awesome. Yeah, he was. And he was a lot of fun because of where he was in his career when he came. He was just starting. So, you got to watch him progress. And now you look out here and he's, you know, on the cover of every magazine. And he's, you know, the poster child for the New York Yankees. So it's been fun to watch him, too.
Well, you know, when you said it, different stages of your own career, where you are. I mean, are you a young player? Are you just breaking in? You know, certain personalities you gravitate at that time that you wouldn't.
Who was your favorite, Al?
I liked John Franco with the Mets. Danny Cox when I was with the Blue Jays. Here was Dave Righetti, my mentor.
You liked Donkey, didn't you?
Pettit was the best. I mean, he's still there. I still talk to him probably more than anybody on the team. So, you know, again, he.
Ground ball to Ellis, and that'll do it. So Al went out on a limb, and Paul would not. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. We go to the third. It's 4-2 Yankees.
And that's why that Bigelow T weather report is so important now, because if you're at the beach and you're checking out on the computer,
you need that UV index.
You need the UV index, and Al pointed that out the other day. Appreciate that.
That's right.
And Hairston gets plunked on the first pitch by Mitre. On the Modell's scoreboard, Yankees lead 4-2. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees.
Boy, nothing more frustrating for a pitcher to hit a guy on a curveball.
If you're going to hit him, you want to give him your best stuff. That's what you're telling me?
Just obviously he didn't mean to do that.
Right back to Mitre. Second one. On to first. It's a double play.
You get a double play out of this ball, but Mitre almost took so much time to make sure he makes a good throw. You see, he bangs it in the dirt right back at him. And he takes so much time that Jeet almost has, you know, it makes it a little harder play for him. He's got to get out of the way. The runner's got to turn it quick. It kind of takes away the rhythm of Jeet going towards first base.
Yeah, Jeter got there early, but as a pitcher, a little tapper like that, you don't, boy, I got a double play here. You want to make sure that that first throw to the shortstop is a strike.
Too much time to think there? Is that what you're telling me?
Just, well, we saw it earlier in the series here, the A's pitcher throwing it around.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the easiest play, you make the mistake mentally, forcing it. That's what Paul's talking about. You don't want to get Jeter to have to hurry it up and then take it from the runner.
Grounded softly to Jeter. And they get Suzuki for the final out of the third. A 4-pitch inning for Sergio Mitre as he faces the minimum 3. We go to the bottom of the third. 4-2 Yankees. His question is, do you believe that Mike Mussina should be elected to the Hall of Fame? A pertinent question on this day, Hall of Fame induction day. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rate supply. Here are your choices. Number 1, yes, on the first ballot. 2, yes, but not the first ballot. 3, no. Al, you're a pitcher. You're still a pitcher at heart. Mike Mussina, 270 wins. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Borderline. I would say probably not, because if he gets in, then you got to put in Bert Blyleven, and I'd put Tommy John in. I'd put Jim Cott in.
Jack Morris.
You know, there's a few that are lining up before Moose.
Here's Mark Teixeira. Now, one way that Mike Mussina is garnering a lot of respect and attention amongst baseball writers, and you see his resume, is that he did everything and played his entire career in the American League East. There's a broken back ground ball off the bat of Teixeira, one away, in the American League East during the steroid era, and was able to compile 270 victories, which makes it even more impressive when you think of everything he went against.
No, I agree. I think this is going to be a compelling case. There's no doubt about it. He's going to get a lot of votes. I think he'll be short for reasons of the whole illustrious 300 wins, and also, you know, as we mentioned, Bert Blyleven, he was second or third until recently with Clemens and Randy Johnson, right, on the strikeouts?
Yeah.
I think he's up about 287.
Modell scoreboard 4-2. Yankees lead. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. Posada swings and misses. You think he's a Hall of Famer, Paul?
Well, I think that his stuff was a Hall of Fame. I think that now you're getting so much into other things other than was this guy a dominant player in his era, and at certain points he certainly was, and he played for championship teams and he won Gold Gloves. So I think that you're right. I don't think that he's going to be a 97% first ballot guy.
One thing, Paul, he never played for a championship team. Never was on a World Series win.
He didn't win?
No. His first year was 01.
No size. Did he win a size?
Never won a Cy Young. Didn't win 20 till his last year.
Wow. You know what?
Last start, right, in Boston.
Yeah. It's going to be one of the great debates. It really will be a telling argument, and see how the writers view this era.
You know what's funny, too, because you'll look at guys that are in the Hall of Fame that he has better numbers than, and then you'll look at guys that are out, not in the Hall of Fame, that he doesn't quite stack up to. So that's the weird thing.
Talking about guys in the past, 287 Blyleven, 287 wins, 331, 3,700 strikeouts.
A lot of losses, though, 250. But a lot of people believe he should be in. A lot of complete games. One of the great curveballs ever. That one's lined to the left field, and it's a base hit. Hairston cuts over and holds Posada to a single. Bob Guerin trying to salvage a split here in the Bronx. And his team moves on to Boston after this game, so the Yankees will go from trying to beat the A's to rooting for the A's over the next 4 days.
Tough road trip for a team that's, you know, doing all they can to not embarrass themselves in the Western Division, getting rid of Holiday the other day, and, you know, possibly Cabrera down the road. And, you know, it's a tough road trip for them. You know, you got guys that are kind of hit the stretch of the season, and the Yankees and the Red Sox probably playing the best baseball they've played.
That one is driven to right field. Giving chase Sweetie. He makes the play on the run as Posada heads back.
You think about, Paul, the years when you faced the A's when they were good and they had those frontline 3 starters and Hudson, Zito, and Mulder. I think really the last 3 years, I mean, the A's have been trying, albeit on a lower payroll, to mix and match. They brought in some offense with Giambi and Orlando Cabrera, thinking that Matt Holliday would have helped the offense, and just it hasn't materialized. They have the 3rd worst record in baseball. Kansas City, San Diego, and Washington Nationals have worst records.
I tell you, you were talking about Ricky Henderson earlier, and that's really the first time that I saw the Oakland A's. And it was when I was with the Cincinnati Reds, and we showed up for the World Series, and they came out to stretch, and you saw Canseco and McGuire and Henderson and Dave Henderson and Ricky, and it's like you're looking over there like, they look like the big group against the little group, but down the road they change personnel, but they continue to win.
Did you guys think you had any chance to win that World Series?
You know what? You go in with a question mark because we had just come out of an unbelievable playoff series against the Pirates. But then there's something about momentum in those short series that you cannot change. And we won 2 games at home that we could have easily lost. And the next thing you know, you get some momentum and you get through the series and you beat a team on paper that was better than we were. There's no doubt. But we had great pitching.
Swing and a miss. And Swisher down on strikes. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 3. Yankees lead 4-2 in the Bronx. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. There are 9 Hall of Famers who have played for both the Yankees and the Athletics. How many of those 9 can you name? How many of those 9, Al?
Well, we got 1.
Okay.
We're not giving away much there.
Now, because the Yes Network broadcast crew is a family, and even if we're not working games, we're watching them. I just got a text from our very own David Cohn, who said, winning percentage for Moose is off the charts. Every pitcher that has 100 games over 500 is in the Hall. And Mussina is over 100 games over 500. That's from David Cohn.
Thanks, Coney.
Does he have a vote?
Now my mind's set. Coney, I'm with Coney. Coney tells me it's right, it's right.
It's a good text right there.
It's a good text.
It's a long one. That would have taken me 5 minutes.
I'm impressed Coney's watching because there's a myriad of opportunities for Coney to do something.
He's got the laptop.
He's on the beach.
He's at the polo club right now. The polo match or something.
There's Brett Gardner with that cast on the broken left thumb. Sweeney punches one through the left side of the infield for a base hit.
It was funny, Mike. I was just watching what was happening before the innings, and I'm going to tell you something that happens on the field that you'll kind of understand, but you've never been through it, all right? You're sitting on the on-deck circle, right? And you're getting ready to hit, and all of a sudden they're playing Bruce Springsteen in the stadium. And you're kind of getting into the song. It's like, God, it's a good song. And you get to the good part, and it's time to go hit. They got to turn the music off. You kind of want to just say, a couple more minutes here, and then I'll go hit. How's that?
You could have done that. I mean, you had that kind of power.
Doesn't work.
What was your walk-up music toward the end?
Bob O'Reilly by The Who.
Right.
Bon Jovi.
You should have had Mandy.
Yeah, that would have gone over well.
the 1-0. Now, Al, you, for a lot of your career, had Springsteen when you were warming up. And then toward the end, when you were with the Yankees, didn't you switch to Tim McGraw?
Wasn't that good, that little skydiving song?
You know what I remember about that World Series? The World Series is we got there, we're going to play you, and we had just come from Yankee Stadium. You had those guys singing "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Baja Man.
What is that?
I know. That was embarrassing. And not just a little song. It was like they had to stop like what we were doing to get them off the field. All right, you guys are done.
Now, you know Don LaGreca, who does the radio show with me on 1050 ESPN, and he's the biggest Met fan you can find. He said, that's the most embarrassing moment as a Met fan ever, to have the Baja Man
In front of the dugout.
in front of the dugout, performing it live over and over and over again. It was such a classic song, you had to hear it.
They also had a guy that would dress up like Babe Ruth at Shea. I
Yes.
never saw him here, but he was always, and he looked just like him. He'd walk around with this big old bat in the uniform. I never understood that either.
Now, we were talking about momentum before, how the Reds, in the year they won the championship over the A's, had the momentum. And Al and I were talking about it between innings. I believe that your at-bat against Benitez in that Met series changed the entire series around. If the Yankees lose that game, I don't know if they win that series.
Well, game one's important, but I mean, the thing that it did do, I mean, we faced Al twice. And if you lose a couple games, then you could probably get him in game 7 also. So it could have been a different series, but you know, I ended up walking there, and Polonia gets a huge hit after that. That's really what changed the game.
2-1 game, ninth inning. Paul has like an 11 pitch at bat. He gets a big walk. And they end up tying it and they're winning the 11. But along the line with when you said you came into Oakland Coliseum, you look over at the mighty A's.
Yeah.
I mean, they were impressive. 88, 89, 90. That was an impressive team, as we saw from the Mets side looking at the Yankees. But that game one, it would have changed the whole mindset for a team that says, geez, we have no business being on the field, to, hey, wait a minute, we could beat these guys.
How about Timo Perez not running?
Timo Perez not running, yeah.
50 pitches for Mitre. For a 5-game series, that had a lot of ebb and flow to it, the Subway Series. There was a lot of drama.
That's just because the good guys won, right?
Some might see it that way, yeah. Runner goes, 3-2, is grounded through the right side for a base hit. So Ryan Sweeney is going to go to third as Derek Barton picks up his first base hit of this series. He's now 1 for 13.
Well, sinker down the zone right now for Mitre. He's getting the sinker. He's getting ground balls. You can't direct as a pitcher where the ground balls are going to go. Barton, actually, this is well struck right here through the hole. Sinker slider combination.
Now we're talking about songs that play when you're pitching or when you come to bat. Bob Lorenz, the great Bob Lorenz of Yes, has texted me and said Paul should have been Cheeseburger in Paradise by Jimmy Buffett.
I wasn't a parrot head at that point.
I think Bob's still mad at you for saying
He is. I was just going to say that we're not on the same team right now. He's right after me.
There's a strike.
I think it was ever since that commercial where I told him to cool it a little bit when he was chucking the helmets and stuff in the dugout.
That's right.
Bob and I had just been at each other's throats a little bit.
Not on the same page.
Nitpicking.
I didn't want to say it.
The 0-1. There's a strike, 0-2. Big spot in the game here for Mitre. He'd like to get Ellis and then get one of his signature double plays. But he'll take the double play and give up a run. Then the Yankees would still have the lead. And the 0-2, a little bit low. So now we know Coney not working, watching. Bob Lorenz off today because Nancy Newman's in the studio watching. Why take the day off? Just work. Yeah, Kenny better
Should have like a 9-man booth up here.
Where's Flaherty? We haven't heard from Flaherty.
Last time Flash was in the park, he wouldn't even text me back. Remember, I needed him help. I tried to phone in a friend, and he wouldn't even help me.
Nice play there by Posada. John Flaherty will be in the studio tomorrow with Bob Lorenz for the Yankees-Rays series.
It's almost like a deep breath. You come out of the All-Star break, you get off to a great start, but then you're back at it. You've got some Rays games coming up. Boston games are kind of in the future when you get back. You got Toronto, so you're getting back at home in your division, and it's a good time to do it for the Yankees because they're playing good baseball.
2-2. Driven out into right center field, giving chase is Nick Swisher. He's there. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Sweeney. He'll score on the sac fly. Yankee lead is now 4-3. Mark Ellis with his 20th run batted in of the year.
Well, we talked about Mark Ellis, one of the veterans of a young team who's been around for a while, knows how to hit, man on third base. His first priority as a hitter is to get that ball out of the infield, look for something up that you can stay under and drive it to the outfield. You're seeing much better at bats today than you have in the past couple of days, and it goes to show about the starting pitching. You see both guys missing in certain counts with pitches, and guys getting good swings off. I mean, where the last couple of days, yesterday with Gonzalez and Pettit, I mean, the first 5 innings, I mean, they just absolutely dominated both lineups. And their starting pitching has a lot to do with the type of at bats you're going to see on television too, because these guys are squaring the ball time and time again.
Got to the ballpark early today, and at about 9:10, Andy Pettit's leaving the clubhouse, going to the field now. What does a pitcher do the day after? Does he start to run? What's the purpose of that workout?
Well, I'm not sure what Andy's is, but I know that in years past he takes them, do liners. Usually it's a flush day. Usually as a starting pitcher, you'll get out there and try to get a good 30 minutes of cardio, constant heart rate up. Over the years, a lot of guys will go into the weight room and either run on the treadmill or an elliptical.
When you say flush, you mean you want to get the soreness out of the body?
Yeah, the toxins and all of the, you break down the capillaries and all the things that go on in your shoulder and elbow and you're sore, but you want to flush that. So you want a good sweat, and you want to be able to just run it out. Also, for the obvious of a good workout for your legs. But it's a day where you try to really exhaust yourself.
Right back to Mitre. This could be 2. And he throws it past Jeter. He took a long time again, which is exactly what Paul said earlier. And this time, it cost him because it's fouling up Jeter's timing.
Yeah, it's funny how there's such a rhythm to every play you do in baseball that you go over and over again. And you'll see, this is a quick one. He's got plenty of times, but he 2 and 3 times back. And, gives Jeter a little sinker there, and it just brings Jeter out of rhythm where he's stopping at the base instead of having the ball early where he can go across.
I'm going to tell you, from that view right there, now, prior to every double play situation, the pitcher absolutely has to know who he has. And you're pointing at the shortstop or second baseman, depending upon who's up, lefty, righty. Most of the time it's Jeter, but you have to know that before as a pitcher. And I think that little hesitation was, if you saw there on that last replay, you had Cano going, they were both breaking. Cano was going to back up Jeter, and I think that hesitation cost him because he wasn't sure who was covering.
So now first and third, still 1 out. And here's Adam Kennedy. There's a ground ball to Jeter. There's 1. On to first. It's a double play. Beautifully turned by Jeter. Cano over to Teixeira. Not an easy double play in the hole, but Jeter fed Cano beautifully, and then Cano, with Patterson bearing down, got the throw off to first quickly to complete the inning-ending double play. Hall of Famers who have played for both the Yankees and the A's. How many can you name? We know Ricky's one of them. Let's see the other 8. Frank Baker, Stan Kovaleski, Herb Penna, Wade Hoyt, Enos Slaughter, Catfish Hunter, Reggie Jackson, Goose Gossage, and Ricky Henderson. And Frank Baker, that was first. That was Frank Home Run Baker.
It was funny. Robinson Cano had that big clearing double, and it was an adjustment. He was getting pounded in. Well, they finally beat him, and he hit a 3-run double. And you see how this at bat started with a curveball. Now we're going to go up and in, and you can see Braden that he's not going to miss out over the plate at all. If he's going to miss, he's going to miss in on Robbie's hands. Well, not much you can do with that, but if you miss as a pitcher, Al, you know as well as I do, if you miss out over the plate, then that hitter can handle it.
Well, we talked in the previous at bat. He got me because we went through the whole scenario, and I thought he was set up for inside. Robbie cleared, got the double to right center field. And as most pitching staffs will do, they'll look at the hitter's swing and see where he's not covering and try to exploit that weakness.
Well, those 3 ribbies on one swing, significant because it's the first time since June 14th that Cano has had a game of more than 2 RBIs. So he's at 52 right now for the season. For a while there, he was the protection, batting 5th behind Alex Rodriguez. Lined right at Barton. 1 away. Well, this week marked the Yankees' first ever Hope Week. A unique week-long community initiative to help others persevere and excel. Each day, Yankee players, coaches reached out to inspirational individuals, families, and organizations. Daily celebrations culminated at Yankee Stadium, and outreach often took place away from the ballpark. For more information on Hope Week, please visit Yankees.com. Get involved. Give hope. I was talking to Joe Girardi about it today. He said, you know what, as much as we help those people, it meant more to us because sometimes doing stuff like that makes you realize how much you can mean to people and makes you want to do it even more. Melky Cabrera picks up a base hit, a big turn at first. He'll head back.
We've talked about Milky lately just being just a good solid player, and he's very capable of just kind of flying under the radar because of all the big names on the Yankees, but he steadily has had a very consistent year, and he's going to be that everyday center fielder now with Brett Gardner on the bench.
He's had some big hits, some big game-winning hits. And as a pitcher, you're right. You go through the meat of the order, and Melky, in most parts, been batting on the bottom portion of this lineup.
Way outside to Cody Ransom. Well, Dallas Braden, the A's youngster, has already allowed 4 earned runs, and it's just the 3rd time this year in 21 starts that he's allowed more than 3 earned runs. He came in with a good ERA of 3.40, but an under 500 record. His team's not that good, 7-8. Line drive down the left field line. It is a base hit, and it goes into the corner. Cano will head to 3rd. He'll stop right there, and Ransom picks up a double.
To bat again, but the ball's elevated. It's up in the strike zone. Good pitch to hit. When you're that guy that gets that 1 start a week, you hope you go to the plate and see pitches like this. He drives it right down the left field line.
Well, I mean, to kind of the point what you're saying, Paul, about the lower part of the lineup. This is a pitch as a pitcher.
Take a look at the Coors Light freeze cam at contact.
Certainly nothing against Cody Ransom. He's coming into batting 183, but if there is a spot where you think you can get some free pitches, it's the bottom of the order. It's certainly a 9-hole guy, but hey, major league hitter, ball up in the zone, they can waffle that too.
Yankees holding onto a 1-run lead. Big moment here as Jeter could pick up 2, possibly with a single. Jeter's 1 for 1 with a walk. Run scored. First pitch that he saw, he directed it to right center for a single, then walked into second. Check swing. First base umpire Relaford said no, he did not go.
a lot about Braden's changeup, and in the first inning he struck out Teixeira on a good changeup, but since then it seems like he's missed with it a lot. Not able to throw that for a strike, and they're kind of teeing off on that breaking ball and fastball.
Popped up. Sweeney settling underneath it, tagging is Cabrera. And the throw comes all the way home on one hop, and Cabrera just bluffed.
Bobby Thompson made his decision up, and that's a tough decision for the third base coach, because you don't have a lot of time. You have to let that runner know, are you going or you're not going. But there's nothing worse than having a guy say and not really letting you know what's going on. But as a runner, you're always going to go as as if you were going to score. But then you kind of read the throw, and if you can read a bad throw, you'll continue. But made up their mind early he wasn't going.
Here's Damon now with 2 outs. And the pitch high, 1-0. Damon, a .323 hitter this year with runners in scoring position. Good pitch on the inside part of the plate, 1-1. Cabrera is at third. Cody Ransom at second. Count 2-1. A-Rod just a spectator today, as he gets his 1 day off per week, so he doesn't tire out the surgically repaired hip. The 2-1. Broken bat pop up. Barton called off by Ellis. Ellis makes the play. So Dallas Braden worked into and out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the 5th. 4-3 Yanks. Texas scoreboard, it's 4-3 Yankees lead. Top of the 5th inning, and John Smoltz still has not found it. And you wonder, is he ever going to be John Smoltz? And it's almost unfair to ask him to do that. He's 42 years old, just had shoulder surgery, and what you get might be what you get. I mean, it might not be Cy Young Award-winning John Smoltz.
Well, I don't think they expected that either. He came in as a guy that they knew was going to be hurt up until the All-Star break. Penciled in as a 5th starter, and you got anything better than a number 5.
Now with the injury to Matsuzaka and Wakefield, they're a little short pitching wise.
See, all along they were talking about maybe trading Penny. Can never have too much starting pitching.
The 0-1. Line drive, base hit to right field. Cabrera's had a good series.
We talked over and over. He's one of the hotter hitters in the American League, and he's a guy that a lot of teams might be looking at, and he's doing everything he can to get himself on a playoff contender by the way he's swinging the bat. I mean, it kind of amazes me, as much as he likes to go to right field, that they continually throw the ball away to him. It just looks like his natural swing to drive the ball to right field.
Yeah, his best swing is that one right there. But occasionally early in the count especially, he'll spin on a pitcher, try to take you left field. But there's a couple teams, Paul, you mentioned. Minnesota's looking for a shortstop. If Seattle thinks they're still in the hunt, they need a shortstop.
Although he's hitting very well, though, I mean, it's going to be difficult for a team to pull the trigger on a guy who's hobbled. You can see there's something wrong with his knee.
Is it something that's, banged up, or is it something that's going to go on all year? That's a decision an organization's going to have to make when they're watching.
Well, I think, Michael, it's a matter of, with this trade deadline coming up here in 4 or 5 days, I'm sure that the way the medical departments are and training, sharing of information, it's probably a matter of saying, look, it's sore, but let him play through this trade deadline and get adequate rest and treatment. Because if it was that bad, he wouldn't be playing.
Foul back.
Well, the Roy Halladay, I mean, it wasn't his deadline before the actual deadline? Didn't they throw a date out?
Well, first they had said they wanted to get it done by Friday. Then they said they wanted to get it done today. And I think the final thing I heard was they definitely want to get it done by Tuesday. Because if they get it done by Tuesday, then they might trade a lot of other people on the team.
Well, also, to be complicated enough, because this isn't just a matter of the right players to be traded. He has to agree to it. There's probably going to be some sort of extension involved.
Ricciardi said he will not allow any negotiations. So Halladay has to say yes, and that's the last thing. He will not allow any negotiating.
Wow. So if I was a team, then that would lessen Ricciardi's chance of getting better players if you think that you may only have him for a year and a half.
Well, Halladay said he wants to be a free agent, and that's why Ricciardi said he's trading. He said if he wants to test the free agent market. And also, if you're a team, though, you get Halladay for 2 months and a year.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
I'm just saying, I mean, that can change an organization.
Yeah.
I mean, say he pitches a Game 7 for you in the World Series and you win a World Series. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I mean, you don't have opportunities unless you're, the Yankees and the Red Sox and possibly the Dodgers, some of these teams.
Phillies
that, can get in the World Series and feel like you can win it and have a little run at it.
Now, one of the great trades of that sort took place between the Tigers and the Braves. And the Tigers were battling to get into the playoffs. And they had a young pitcher named John Smoltz, and they traded him to the Braves for Doyle Alexander. And it's so tough to win. Doyle Alexander, I think, went 11-0, and because of Doyle Alexander, they made the playoffs. They didn't win the World Series that year, and John Smoltz became a Hall of Famer. So that's what you're dealing with when you make deals like that. Is it worth it to win that 1 year? And a lot of people, most baseball people will say yes. You don't get many opportunities to win a World Series.
I agree in a lot of markets, and I mean, one of the best guys was David Cohn. I mean, he would come to championship teams, and he was known from organizations that, he didn't mind doing it. He'd show up and help teams win.
Ground ball to Jeter. He flips to Cano. On to Teixeira, a double play. Third big double trade for Sergio Mitre.
Well, this is the pitcher's best friend right here. A nice little bit to Jeter's left. Nice shovel pass to strong arm Cano. That last double play to end the Yankee inning. The strength of Robinson Cano's arm. It's a third base arm. Makes it look so easy.
It's funny you say that, because I was out with my kids on the field. We were walking through the dugout, and I looked over, and the Yankees had just finished batting practice. And Cano was taking ground balls at third base. And I jokingly yelled at you. I said, would you get lost? What are you doing at third base? And He came over and said, yeah, I do that every once in a while just to keep my arm strengthened and loose to make throws across the field.
The longer toss.
Yeah.
Something pitchers have lost the art or aspect of the importance of long toss. The stronger arm throwers on the team are the guys that can throw the farthest.
Oh, I tell you what, every once in a while when you make an out and you just, you'd have that little insane moment in between innings throwing with Bernie. I can remember one day we were in the old Detroit Stadium and, you just struck out or did something stupid and you're supposed to get loose where you're so mad you get loose. I absolutely threw it out of the stadium. You just don't realize how far you can throw a ball by just
when you're mad.
The anger inside you, And Bernie just looked at me like, all right, nice throw, and just walked back to his position.
There's a strike.
I remember Dave Righetti. He was he blew a game. I think Lou came out, his manager, and Rags turned around and threw it. It was in Toronto, the old Exhibition Stadium, and threw the ball out of the stadium.
Yeah, Dibble did it. Rob Dibble did it in Cincinnati, and he hit some lady in the arm in center field. It was after an inning, and she sued him because he chucked it into the stands in center field.
Jack Cuss swings and misses. So Sergio Mitre, 11 pitches, retires the A's. The minimum 3 batters because of the double play. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left. We're halfway through. Yankees up 4-3. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and Mark Teixeira leads off. And way out in front, he pops it up. Hairston shading his eyes, I guess, from the glare. There's not much sun. And he puts it away for the first out of the 5th. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World. And by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees.
There's that first pitch changeup. Remember?
Yeah, that one Jeep timed on you. That's the one you're talking about. Yesterday we were talking about how Alan didn't want to throw that first pitch to Jeter in the 2000.
Yeah, it's my 5th pitch out of 4 pitches I have.
And also, Paul made a good point about that too. I mean, they've seen Dallas Braden. That was your first pitch. It just looked like, wow, he doesn't have a good fastball today.
No. But that was the first pitch of the game?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no, then that wasn't a changeup, no. I wouldn't throw first pitch.
It was started out as a great story, and now you screwed it up. Now we're on a different pitch. People are lost. What are we doing here?
I
was
thought
it a
you
first
threw a
pitch
first pitch change.
I wouldn't have done that.
On the Lexus scoreboard, it's 4-3. Yankees lead in the bottom of the 5th. So far, the rain has held up here at the stadium. Been some ugly predictions and reports today, but so far so good. And it's now an official game with the Yankees leading 4-3. Count 1-2.
How hard often is it where you just got to fight yourself to not throw away at bats? Seems like, you know, Sunday, day game, hot.
As older you get, it's harder.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what's frustrating is your concentration level.
Cabrera guns down. Posada, who tried to get the call. Now he's saying that Barton's foot came off the bag, but Charlie Relaford said you're wrong, and Mick Kelleher didn't argue. So we'll take a look.
Oh, you see Cabrera. I mean, he's shown what he can do with the bat. He's also a pretty good defensive shortstop.
2 Gold Gloves.
Was a foot on the bag.
Wow, look at that stretch. I was going to say, that hurts looking at it. Is that natural?
Can you do that?
No, absolutely not.
Hard to tell if he kept his toe or a spike on the bag. I'm very adept at that ball.
Yeah? I could just see you in that position, Mike. Go out there stretching. You told me you were a first baseman, too, right?
That's right.
It's in the Bikram yoga.
The only problem when you get down there, how are you getting up?
People help you up.
Yeah.
Bikram yoga is when they turn up the heat, right?
Hardest workout ever. Have you ever done it?
Bikram? I've never even heard of it. I couldn't do it if I've never heard of it.
They turn up the heat. It's like a sauna there, and then you do yoga.
That sounds like a blast.
For the heavy guys like me.
Oh, do you get to like listen to music to, or you like tied in somewhere or something?
No, it's just hot, and you stretch for an hour and a half.
And what does that do for you?
Oh, look at me.
Phil Koch beginning to throw. Look at him. And the 1-2. Upstairs, 2-2. I actually walked past the Bikram yoga place on 3rd Avenue in the Upper East Side, and the people looked miserable. They looked like they were pressing their face against the window.
Yeah, they're trying to get out. It's like 140 degrees in there.
Foul back.
I'm just saying, it's the best workout. It really is.
How often do you do this?
I haven't done it in years, but
in years. Such a great workout.
Because it's so hard. You hate it.
This is a good workout. Spraying water on your face. The 2-2. 3-2. It's hot out there. And the payoff. He walked Matsui. 2-out walk.
Float that little 3-2 changeup in there, but that's basically what Dallas Braden has done up to this point. Constantly changing speeds, fastball counts, off-speed pitches.
Is that 2 out, nobody on walk? And is that, I mean, obviously if it's a leadoff walk, it's setting up for a big inning. But does that look, I mean, you take a little more of a chance because you've got 2 outs as a
no question about it. Yeah, no, I'm being nice in the sense that if this is his pitch, a 3-2 count, pick a spot where you know the guy's not going to hit it out of the park, usually fastball down away, and see if he hits it at somebody. You know, if you're going to throw a 3-2 changeup, especially a game like this, you better throw it for a strike. As you mentioned, 2 outs, you get 2 quick outs, and now you walk him on a changeup. It's just a sign of pitching defensive.
Blue Jays lead the Rays 4-1, top of the 7th inning in Toronto. And the Orioles lead the Red Sox 5-0, bottom of the 4th inning in Boston. So this could be a productive day for the Yankees if all 3 scores hold up. Dribbled slowly to short. Cabrera charges. And he gets Nick Swisher for the final out of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. And one man left on base. We go to the 6th. Look at Al. Yankees lead 4-3. Brewed cup of coffee. At Yes, we get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. WB Mason, who bought. We go to the 6th inning. Sergio Mitre still in there. He's thrown 72 pitches. And Kurt Suzuki will lead off. Joe Girardi was asked before the game, well, what do you want out of Mitre? He said, just a chance to win. I'm not going to say he has to pitch 7 innings. We'd like to get 7. I want him to give us a chance to win. He's certainly done that. Right back and past Mitre, just over the bag in center field. And Suzuki on with a leadoff single.
You know, what's funny is you look at this pitching matchup, and both of these guys are just trying to, it's almost like they're trying to hold the damage to a minimum to see who can get the win out of this. And it's probably going to come down to the bullpen.
It's a good approach here. Suzuki, he, as Michael said, the numbers against the Yankees. Kind of a good series.
That looks like it's going to be it for Mitre. So, Girardi goes with him for 5 innings. Mitre can get the win. And the Yankees are now going to have to get 12 outs out of their bullpen. And they turn to Phil Cope first. Stay here. Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Well, Joe Girardi goes quickly to the bullpen, and this call to the bullpen brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. And they go to Phil Coke. His last 14 games, the Yankees are 13-1 in those games. Phil Coke's been very good for the Yankees. Girardi has a lot of faith in him, and now he has a whip of under 1, which is outstanding. And he's done the job. He gets out righties and lefties. First guy he'll face will be a left-hander, Ryan Sweeney. And the A's have 3 righties on their bench and 1 switch hitter. 21 of Coke's last 24 outings have been scoreless, and those are Mitre's numbers. Wasn't great. 9 hits in 5+ innings. Allowed 3 runs, but he does leave with a lead. Foul back.
Coke had a little bit of he came up very impressive, and then had a little bit of a stretch where he didn't do as well, and definitely kind of collected himself and realized, hey, this is an opportunity. Don't waste it. Keep doing it. And what I've seen is that he's very kind of the mindset of Phil Hughes, aggressive, attacking the zone as he just did there, getting ahead. True mindset of a quality reliever. And really, that's what happens. When he started the minor leagues with the Yankees, you come up and generally you have 3 pitches, maybe 4. He's eliminated that. Dave Island's done a great job with him.
There's such a difference, Alan. It's kind of, I think, what you're talking about. When a young guy comes up and has an opportunity to roll, there's such a difference in the way they pitch if they're trying not to lose a job or if they're trying to win a job. And if they start trying to pitch not to lose a job, you get so defensive and you get in so much trouble. Instead of just, when he struts in from the bullpen now, we were kind of laughing between innings. He sprints in, he's ready to go. He looks like he knows he's going after somebody.
The 0-2. High pop-up, left field. Damon shading his eyes. Makes the play for the first out.
How much do you sense of that as a hitter? Would you see a guy where you say, man, this guy's ready for business?
Yeah, you could, and it usually was the veteran guys that had a lot of confidence that they would get you out from past experience. They look at you like, here we go again. And some of the younger guys, were coming up, you could dig in and kind of try to make eye contact with guys. And it was really weird how much of a vibe you could feel whether this guy's coming after you or, he believes you're an out. And, if they look right back at you, it's like, oh, all right, well, this is going to be a nice little battle here.
Here's Derek Barton, another lefty against the left-hander Coke. Upstairs.
And I so believe in that scenario, Michael, as a hit. Same thing with a hitter. If a hitter gets in there and they have that look of, you might get me out, but it's going to be a battle. And as opposed, there's some guys when they're lost, obviously they're in a slump. You could get away with mistakes. You're not as so in tune to having to make that perfect pitch every time.
Now Posada said, all right, calm down, which means, Coke might be a little geeked up. Trying to settle him down a bit.
Which is good. Posada does such a good job with that, I believe. He comes out, he can see it. Obviously, as a catcher, you can see the release point. He's watching the delivery. And that's the first thing that they'll see is a guy overthrowing. Obviously, your command is off. If he's setting up away and the ball's missing 3-4 feet, you gotta settle down.
And Dave Island comes out to reinforce that point. The 2-0. Let's see if they can turn 2. There's 1. Not in time. Barton just beat it out. Kind of a humpback line drive, and Cano had to wait to get it. And by the time he got it to Jeter, Barton was down the line.
Cano gives him a good feed. Jeet gets a good throw across the diamond. You're right, Michael. Just outrun the baseball sometimes.
Jeter and Cano have now played, and Coke thought it was a double play, 601 games together between shortstop and second. So they know every move the other guy makes. And that actually passes the amount of games that Willie Randolph and Bucky Dent played together. So Jeter and Cano have been together a while.
For number 1?
I don't believe it's number 1.
No. I guess Rizzuto and
Kubek and Richardson have it. Bobby Richardson retired when he was 31. And Kubek retired very young as well, as that one gets past Posada. Bounced right back to him, but Derek Barton was all the way to second. They score that a wild pitch.
He sets up away, and then he just jerks a, I guess it was a fastball, just a straight lawn dart. Not a whole lot of reaction time. 90-mile-an-hour fastball, about 0.4 tenths of a second from the pitcher to the catcher.
The 55-foot part of that's when it becomes tough, you know.
Especially 3 feet to your left.
Ellis is a pesky hitter. Count 1-1. That one is drilled deep to left field. Going back, Damon looking up. See ya! A 2-run home run by Mark Ellis, and the A's take a 5-4 lead, and that was a bit more than pesky.
There you see it right there. 4th home run of the year. Obviously, Mark Ellis not as home run hitter. Looks like a little fastball that was supposed to be going away. Went down and got this ball. Middle of the plate. Clearly got the barrel of the bat on the ball.
And the pitch was down. It's not like he left it out over the plate. It just must have, you know, lost a little movement.
So Sergio Mitre will not get the win. And this is the location on the pitch to Ellis. Not awful. And that's the kind of pitch usually a left-hander likes. That one is drilled deep to right. Fair ball, it's trouble. And it's a foul ball. So Girardi went to the bullpen early. This time it backfires as Koch gives up the go-ahead home run, a 2-run shot to Ellis. And now Island goes back out to the bullpen.
You watch Patterson hook that ball foul, and I had talked to Ray Fosse the other day about Patterson, and Ray Fosse being the Oakland guy is with him every single day, and he said, you know, he's had all kind of success in the minor leagues, and as soon as he gets up to the major leagues, he gets away from what he does. He takes away his speed. He tries to hit everything out of the park. And you can look at his build and tell that he can run. He's got good speed. But you see that hitting 083. I mean, you got to hit the ball on the ground.
That one is hit in the air to right field. It's a base hit. Swisher will play it in. So Patterson, a 2-out single.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Paul, because there's some players that, you know, that 4A tag that gets on them. Obviously, AAA, it's a very good caliber, but you're not facing the quality arms day in, day out. Not only from the starting rotation, but the guys coming from the pen. You have to know the type of player that you are. I know Eric's brother, Corey Patterson, has played a long time. He was a guy that thought he was more of a home run guy. He really wasn't a fast, you know, fast guy that should steal some bags.
Jonathan Albaladeo begins to throw. They activated him today, placing Brett Gardner on the DL with a broken left thumb. It's amazing. Baseball is a fascinating game. They came within an eyelash of turning an inning-ending double play. They don't get that. Mark Ellis gets an at-bat that he wouldn't have gotten if they do turn the double play. Hits a 2-run home run. It's that close. So it makes it great.
And frustrating. But which end you're on. You're right, Michael. I mean, that's the whole proverbial, you know, don't give, especially the good teams, any more than the 27 outs. You know, the plays that you're supposed to make them.
It does make you wonder how 150 years ago, when Abner Doubleday or whomever they give credit to inventing the game laid out the bases, that at 90 feet away would be the perfect distance away, that it would be an eyelash away on a ground ball, and 60 feet 6 inches would be the distance from the rubber to home plate. Just amazing. I'm sure they didn't have research groups back then. Runner goes, and that one's tapped right back to Koch. As we ponder those questions, we take a look at Mark Ellis's 2-run home run off of Phil Koch. Pitch down and in, and Ellis connects for a 2-run shot that gives the A's a 5-4 lead. can get the win. There's a pitch to Cano. It's up and in, 1-0. Cano, a 3-run double in the first inning. Yankees scored all of their runs in the first inning. Since then, they've been unable to plate anything, and they've left 5 runners on base. There's a ground ball second off the bat of Cano. 1 away. Well, time for another look at today's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question: do you believe that Mike Mussina should be elected to the Hall of Fame? You've been texting us at 58772. Here are the results. 48% said yes, but not the first ballot. 42% said yes on the first ballot, and only 10% said no. Here's Melky Cabrera against Dallas Braden.
Pretty good percentage, though. So if he gets that percentage from the writers,
he's in.
He's not in on the first ballot. You got to have 75%, right?
Right.
So he'd get in down the road, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a little off on my numbers day one. Now, am I with you here now? I'm right on that one.
You know, if you looked at your Yankee years, if you had similar years with the Reds, where I guess you're trying to find yourself as a player, you'd have been a Hall of Fame.
Right? I
mean, your Yankee numbers are Hall of Fame quality numbers, but the Red numbers kind of bring them down. Is that a disappointment to you that it didn't click easier for you or quicker?
It was a frustrating time in Cincinnati, believe me. But I look back at just. If I was going to have a better career in New York or Cincinnati, I'd much rather have it this time in New York because of the teams I was on and just the opportunity to play in New York.
And you also won 5 titles. A lot of people win 5 World Series titles.
Right place, right time, Al.
Yeah, you're a big part of it. Humble.
It's like the hot yoga. Got to be at the right place at the right time, right?
We're all going to go together as a team. The 2-2.
Count me in, Michael.
So any hot yoga place in New York that wants us there, you just give us a call.
They're opening the doors. What do we wear to this, by the way?
Not much.
No?
Shorts.
Shorts, T-shirt.
Yeah.
3-2. Outside. Melky walks.
This is a perfect example of a pitcher who struggles early on, obviously the 4 runs in the first inning, and then settles in, and he continued to pitch the way he has in order to get major league hitters out. We've seen twice now, this one being 1 out walk on a 3-2 changeup. He had a leadoff walk earlier with 2 outs, not a leadoff, 2 outs with Matsui walking on a changeup. But many times you'll see a pitcher and they struggle early on, and then it gets worse and it unravels, and they don't see here in the 6th inning.
Hit sharply. It's a fair ball. Down the left field line. Kicks off the stands. Cabrera moves to third. Moving to second is Ransom, and he just gets in with a double. Second double for Ransom.
Cody Ransom pulled that ball and kind of waited to see if it was fair, and it almost cost him a double. You see right out of the box, it's a fair sign, but he wasn't even out of the box. Kind of waits there. Oh, there we go. It's a good feeling when you see it's fair, but now you know that you got a good carry him out in left field. Good throw might have had it.
Now, what's Mark Ellis coming up for the short hop? I don't know whether he realized that Ransom was either going to easily get to second base or not, but I'm not sure why he did that. I think if he stayed at second base, he may have had Ransom.
So now Jeter's in the same spot he was in the 4th inning. Second and third. 1 out. Infield is back. Now he hit a fly ball to shallow right that did not score Cabrera that inning. A ground ball to short, second or first will tie the game. And that's even better. He dunks a single in the center field for a base hit. Melky scores. Here comes Ransom. He'll score. It's a 2-run single for Jeter. And the Yankees have retaken the lead. They're up 6-5.
Derek Jeter does good things with men in scoring position. Doesn't try to drive the ball out of the park. Gets a changeup away. Kind of hits it off. You see him kind of steering that ball into center field. Again, kind of reads the throw. See if he has a chance to go to second base. Wasn't high enough. The big deal is he drove in 2 more runs.
That'll bring Kurt Young out to talk as the only left-hander of the bullpen. Craig Breslow gets ready. Hey, tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees start their road trip when they play the first of 3 against the Tampa Bay Rays. American League champion Tampa Bay Rays. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Ken Singleton and I have the call. It's the Yankees and the Rays tomorrow at 6:30. Only on Yes. If you watch, this is 2 distinctly disparate ways that a team is being managed. Obviously, Bob Guerin wants to win a game, but his first priority is to make these pitchers grow. 90 pitches, Dallas Braden, 2nd and 3rd. He never had anybody up in the bullpen. He wants these guys to experience and work through this. Joe Girardi has to manage a completely different way because he's trying to win every single game.
I was almost going to bring that up earlier in the game on how
they get Jeter. He picked him off. Al, you said that in the stat report. What a good move he has. And Jeter, a good base runner, was caught sleeping.
And it's a step off. Now watch here. He steps off back and got Jeter by that little second step. Normally they'll take 1 step out. Now he sees it. He's almost locked up. Oh boy, I'll tell you what. The reason why I got him was that ball was thrown right at him. Very unusual that you'll see guys, left-handers, be able to step off and do this flip throw.
He's not even that far off the bag. That one's lined down the right field line. That is going to be trouble. It's a base hit. Sweeney will play it off the wall. Damon is at second with a double. And the pickoff looms very large. You don't know if the same thing would happen, but if it had, that could be another run.
And Johnny Damon gets a pitch. Inner half, pulls his hands in. Johnny Damon's got kind of an unorthodox swing, but he lets go of that bat, pulls his hands in, gets the barrel to it, pulls it right down the line. Back to your point about the pitching, Michael, it's almost a tale of 2 teams. I mean, if you're a young guy coming to this organization with the A's, all right, we're going to put you out there every day and you're going to grow. And as a rookie pitcher with the Yankees, you go out and do the job your first couple times, or you're going to be back in AAA. And it's a completely different mindset. And there's a lot of pressure on young pitchers who come up, young players, period, who come up to, winning franchises that are in the middle of a pennant race.
Line drive, base hit to center field. Damon rounds 3rd. They're waving him home. Here's the throw from Patterson. It's cut off. It's an RBI single from Mark Teixeira, and the Yankees lead 7-5.
Some things just don't change. Mark Teixeira, RBI guy at best. It's been kind of the mainstay in the middle of that lineup for the Yankees this year. To pitch away and just drives it up the middle. Another RBI in that column.
72, his 4th coming in the American League. Just getting a little floating, little slider that backed up. Middle of the plate, nice approach.
Here's Posada. Hey, interpret this stat for me, Paul. When Jeter got that hit in the 6th inning, or in this inning, the 2 runs, it was his 4th plate appearance against Dallas Braden. This year, when he faces a starting pitcher for the 4th time in a game, he's 13 for 23.
There's no doubt that past experience, even if it's a first at bat of the night, can help, especially a veteran hitter. I mean, there's so many things that your first at bat off a guy can tell you. Does he throw hard enough to get into? I have to honor that inside pitch. What's his out pitch? Does his ball move away from me? Does it move it in? And I mean, you can answer all these questions within a few pitches of your first at bat, and it only helps you down the line.
Now, Al, on the pitcher side, did he just run out of ways to get a guy out after 4 times?
Yeah, that's the hardest thing for a major league pitcher to face great hitters like their Jeter, is to know that you have 2. Most major league pitchers have 2+ pitches, or they wouldn't be started, and then there's a 3rd and 4th pitch. And what Jeter does, that tells me, is that he's identified early, maybe gets a hit early on, as Paul said, however that is, lead the pitch up, but then sees release points, sees movement, checks velocity, all of that plays into the element of why he's such a great hitter.
565 when he faces a pitcher for the 4th time. 13 for 23. Fouled away.
But against lefties this year, 436 coming into today's game.
I know Ryan's back in the booth. When you start getting numbers like that, just off the wall numbers, look at him over there, just throwing them your way. John's got it all figured out too.
down 2-2 on Posada. And the count is full, so that's going to release Teixeira. Hughes has been throwing. He is ready.
Comes a 3-2 change, Paul. You sitting on it? He's doing it.
It's definitely in the back of your mind. He likes to go to that 3-2 change, but the only thing is he hasn't thrown it for a strike. So you got to make sure, even if you're looking for it, 3-2, that it's a strike.
Teixeira goes. He's off speed inside. And Posada works a walk. And that's going to do it for Dallas Braden.
You know, a Hall of Fame pitcher that I can remember that 3-2 changeup was almost automatic? It's Greg Maddux. Sinker, maybe a cutter, 3-2 changeup every single time. And he was so good at it, and he'd throw it out of his zone intentionally. He'd swing out because he was so known for throwing strikes and not walking people.
Well, the lefty Matsui do up. They go to the lefty Craig Breslow. Dallas Braden's night is over. Yankees up 7-5. Yankees fan club. For just $35, you'll receive an official membership card, a Yankees and Argos season baseball, special ticket discounts, and other exclusive fan club items. To join, call 1-800-GO-YANKS or log on to Yankees.com today. Another big crowd here at the stadium enjoying the Yankees 7-5 over the A's, bottom of the 6th inning. 3 runs already in, and they've knocked Dallas Braden out of the game. And Bob Gardner has turned it over to Craig Breslow. This will be his 50th game, 4.62 ERA. They have 7 pitchers in the bullpen. 6 of them are righties, and Breslow, the only lefty. So first and second with 2 outs, and Matsui at the plate. Matsui RBI single in the first, flew to right in the third, and then walked in the 5th. 1-0. On this homestand, Matsui is 4 for 26. Big opportunity to give the Yankees a cushion heading into the final 3 innings. Buzzed him upstairs.
Breslow pitched Friday night, did not do well. Went in the probably going to third inning, giving up 4 runs. Posada got him for a home run. You see where Suzuki's setting up outside. That's just an overthrown fastball. Getting away from him. What are you looking after fastball like that?
Up and away.
Away, yeah.
Yeah, usually pitchers love to go away after they back you off the plate, whether it's intentional or not. It's usually a ball away.
That's what happens. And after you've been buzzed, is there some trepidation about leaning away?
Not necessarily. I mean, you can usually tell from a pitcher whether they're trying to get you off the plate.
They turned it loose on 3-0, and he popped it up. Ellis makes a play, and that's going to do it. But the Yankees retake the lead. They score 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the 7th. Yankees up by 2. Away from home and missed the game? Well, not anymore. Now the Yankee fans can watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer who watches Yes, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now.
What Coney's doing right now.
Coney is a computer maniac. He loves it.
He's watching on his computer right now.
Gadget man?
He is a gadget man, yeah. Phil Hughes, no gadgets with him. Here it is, hit it. 24 games, a 3.51 ERA, now a strikeout per inning. 49 hits in 59 innings. As a reliever, though, just as a reliever, 24 in the 3rd innings, 12 hits, 2 runs, 5 walks, a home run, 28 strikeouts, and he's pitching to a 0.74 ERA as a reliever. Talked to Joe Girardi today about Phil Hughes, and you'll hear it on W.B. Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show after the postgame. He said, we still think of him as a starter. He said, I know he's been great. He's going to stay in there the rest of this year. He said, but in our organizational estimation, he's still a starter. Which is what they felt about Jabba as well. And they're certainly making that happen. Count 1-1. Cabrera, Hairston, and Cust.
To the credit of David Cohen, and he was the one who called this early on about giving Hughes the chance to pitch out of the bullpen. He thought he would do well. And at the time when they were putting him in the pen, as opposed to sending him to AAA, there you see the numbers in first 17 relief appearances. Absolute domination. These are outstanding numbers. Was that making sure that he got consistent work in important innings as opposed to the long guy. And if you're not going to give Phil Hughes consistent work, well then AAA would have been the way to go. But obviously that wasn't the plan of Joe Girardi and the Yankees.
I think that's the big thing. As you said, it's important innings. I mean, you can come in a situation in the 8th inning and blow people away, or you can be the mop-up guy. I mean, you can look at it as, I'm pitching big innings or I'm just mopping up, and it's a completely different mindset for a pitcher.
I got a piece of Posada. And this is how it looked at real speed.
Posada's an awfully tough guy. You know that hurt. He would shake it off.
Now this is in slow motion, super slow-mo. And I got him right on that surgically repaired right shoulder. And that brings out Gene Monahan and Joe Girardi. Want to remind everybody that after the final out, it's the W.B. Mason postgame show. Nancy Newman's back in the studio for a complete wrap-up of this series against the A's, and also a look around the majors. Plus, our very own Kimberly Jones will talk to the players in the clubhouse. It's the Emmy Award-winning W.B. Mason postgame only on Yes. Hughes has a 22-inning scoreless stretch dating back to June 10th at Boston. And pitch. Foul back. Now, according to the Elias Sports Bureau, that's the longest single-season scoreless stretch for a Yankees reliever since Mariano Rivera had 23 straight innings back in 2005. So he's in some pretty good company right now.
As you say, when you do something record-wise with the Yankees, it's usually pretty good because you're throwing some big names out there, and then Mariano's name comes up there. You know that you've done something pretty good.
Popped up, right center. Melky Cabrera makes the play. One away. So they retire the dangerous Orlando Cabrera.
And the other part about Phil Hughes, Michael, is he's got a great curveball, and changeup is his fourth pitch. But these are the elements as a starter that you use as your repertoire early in the game, throughout to flip a lineup. You mentioned the stats that Derek Jeter had before the time you see the starting pitcher. The role that he's in now, he's primarily fastball slider. He'll throw occasional curveball. There it is right there. And that's why the Yankees, as Joe Girardi had told you, that they still see him as a starter because he's got 3+ pitches. That's a very good curveball. But in the relief role, when you're in there for 10, 12 pitches, you got to kind of eliminate a couple of your pitches, and primarily he's been fastball slider.
Has he been under the same rules that Jabba was, where days rest and innings and pitches, as strict as they were on Jabba?
They're not as strict as they were with Jabba, and now they do let him pitch back-to-back, even if he's pitched 2 innings. But they do treat him with kid gloves. They realize how valuable he is, and having Aceves out there helps them. Because if there's a day that Hughes can't go, then Aceves will come in. And today Aceves can't go, so Hughes can come in. It's like you have 2 8th-inning guys.
I mean, this is 97 paint outside corner. That's fantastic.
He just has an aggressiveness and a confidence now that he didn't have as a starter. And he throws a lot harder as well. 0-1-2. Posada could not hold on to the foul tip.
Well, and that comes with success. I don't know how you were, Paul, but to walk around with the bravado that you're great, and then your numbers don't reflect it. You're tricking yourself, and you're a bit of a phony in that way. Here you have to have success in order to have what you just said, Michael, his demeanor and disposition of a confident guy out there. And for as much as coaches can tell you, yeah, you're great stuff, you're great, you got to do it.
96 miles an hour with that high fastball.
I mean, generally speaking, it's a game of failure, and insecure. Your mindset of how you feel confidence-wise, it wavers daily, weekly.
Blew it right by him. 96 gas, 2 away.
It's amazing what they've harnessed since they put him in the bullpen. And you see 96 on the corner, 97 earlier in the at-bat. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, this isn't a bat you would look forward to trying to get into somebody's bullpen.
Well, the way Hughes is pitching is a certain level of vindication for Brian Cashman, who just refused to trade Hughes. And the Yankees could have had Yohan Santana. They would part with Hughes or Ian Kennedy. Now Ian Kennedy's out this year with an aneurysm that he had surgically repaired. But the Yankees' patience and stubbornness in not dealing Hughes is paying off right now, because he's a force. He's the reason they're in first place. I know that sounds odd, but he has solidified that bullpen and turned the bullpen from a question mark into one of the big strengths in the major leagues for any team. Mariano's pitching lights out. Sebes before yesterday. Hughes, Coke.
Bruni early on before he got hurt.
And this is a completely different bullpen than the one that left spring training. Remember, that had Jose Veras, Edouard Ramirez, and Joe Girardi has had to rework the bullpen. And he's reworked it now into the fact that it is a force for them. It's a positive. 2-2. And just watch him. And he's on your TV screen right now. You watch him, and it's a different body language than when he was a starter. When he was a starter, it seemed like, do I belong out here?
Doubt.
Yeah, definite doubt. You could read it. Even if you were a layman, you could read it. Now, let's go. Here it is. Let's go. The count 3-2. So Cust is 1 for 3 today. And as a guy who strikes out or walks over 50% of the time, he's got a 3-2 count. Could go one way or the other. Strap. And again, Posada gets knocked around back there.
Just got him on his mask.
Well, just got him in the head instead of the shoulder.
A tough inning for Jorge.
This is a dandruff inning for him, head and shoulder.
First time?
Oh, yeah. 3-2. He struck him out. An impressive 1-2-3 inning for Phil Hughes as he retires the A's in order with 2 more strikeouts. Now 23 straight scoreless innings for the Yankee 23-year-old right-hander. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead the A's 7-5, but we stay right here to honor America in the missed here, I'll tell you that. And his untimely death on Christmas Eve, and #1 retired, never be worn again. 5-time Yankee manager. Well, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Nick Swisher is going to lead off against Craig Breslow as the Yankees hold a 7-5 lead. Swisher today is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And there's a strike. Well, he's got the bullseye all out there for him. Except Breslow didn't hit the bullseye.
Just a bit outside. So it's good opportunity. Obviously it's 7-5, but for Nick Swisher to feel comfortable, get into some good at bats. He's been struggling a little bit.
Paul, there's this woman here who's screaming for you.
Is that right?
Yeah, can you please just look at it?
Hey, how are you?
She was not enjoying the game unless you showed your face. There's a strike to Swisher. Well, it's a final. Toronto beat Tampa 5-1, so the Yankees can gain a game on the Rays. They're 5.5 in front of the Rays right now. Could be 6.5 if the Yankees hold on. 2-2. Line drive, base hit, down the right field line off the bat of Swisher. It'll go into the corner, played out there by Sweeney. And Swisher is on second with a leadoff double here in the 7th.
Well, that's all it takes is it stays on. He got behind 0-1, fights his pitch off. This is not easy to do. The ball tracked deep in the zone. Didn't know where it was initially. But as a guy who's kind of in between the fastball and the breaking ball, as he's been a little bit of late, a hit like that can get him on a roll.
That's that hesitation out of the box, whether it gets over his head or if it gets caught. And then you said he was struggling a little bit, and it's funny in a hitter's mind. It almost, as soon as you hit it, you expect it to be caught, and then you get that kind of shot of adrenaline when you see that thing hit grass in the outfield.
Before that double, he was 4 for his last 25. Here is Cano. Cano with the big bases clearing double in the 1st inning. That one hit deep to center field. Patterson circles and makes the play. Tagging is Swisher. He'll go to 3rd. So Cano hit the ball hard and far, but chose the deepest part of the ballpark. Hey, today after the postgame, get the skipper's take on this homestand with an all-new WB Mason Presents The Joe Girardi Show. And after, catch a new episode of the Emmy-winning Yankees on Deck for a look at Jorge Posada's annual Base Bowl charity event. It all starts today after the postgame only on Yes.
Well, you cut that before I could see what Jeter did in that frame. You better not have rolled a gutter ball.
What do you think the chances of that? Infield is in for Melky. Pitch outside.
You brought up the Rays, Michael, and then, you know, with them coming in, it's a big series for them. You start dropping 5.5, 6.5 back behind a couple teams. And they obviously came into the season as trying to repeat, so you can't dig too big of a hole for September.
Yankees 3 games in Tampa, really St. Pete, and then 4 games in Chicago against the White Sox, an off day in Toronto, and then 2 games against the Blue Jays in Toronto.
Which even makes it more important because when you get a team at home, and you know, Tampa's always been known as playing pretty well at home because they have that dome down there, so you've got to make up some ground when you play at home.
Now, I know about the revenue sharing and parity and all that, but I don't know about you guys, but across baseball, there's a lot of cities that are going to be in it right to the very end. 9 teams in the American League alone that are all within shot of each respective division.
So a walk issued to Cabrera, that's going to bring up Ransom, but Ransom is not going to face the lefty Breslow as Bob Garrett makes his walk out to the mound, and he is going to signal for a right-hander. Garrett and Girardi, 2 of 10 former catchers, managers in the big leagues, but only Garrett and Girardi manage the Yanks.
waiting for Reggie Jackson to give me an autograph. Reggie used to come out all the time, and I'd say, Reggie, can I have an autograph? He would pass me a pen with his name on it. He never gave me an autograph.
Well, from what we're hearing, Ricky's speech was a beauty in Cooperstown. So we heard the part about Billy Martin from Nancy Newman, and we see him talking about being a young fan in Oakland when Reggie was part of the Swingin' A's. And can't wait to hear that whole speech a little bit later on today. So first and third, and Russ Springer comes on to face Cody Ransom. Yankees are leading 7-5, and those are Springer's numbers. Swinging a miss. By the way, when we went to break, I said that both had managed. Obviously, Guerin and Girardi are the only two managers in baseball that have actually played for the Yankees. Guerin was actually a minor league teammate of Al Leiter's. Yes. The 0-1. He did not go. Ransom's been on base 7 times in his last 15 plate appearances. He's 2 for 3 today with 2 doubles. He has his average over 200 at 203. Yankees have 4 outfielders now with the injury to Gardner, and if they ever had an emergency, Cody Ransom would be the guy who would go out there. He could play the outfield if need be. That's why he's so valuable to them, to play all infield positions. Popped up behind the plate and out of play. Ricky looked pretty sharp in Cooperstown. White suit, brown shirt, white tie. Resplendent.
Swinging A's. You were talking about the white shoes yesterday. Why you like them? Because it's color TV.
That's right. Brings back good memories.
How with those rabbit ears? You have rabbit ears now because you don't have cable.
That's right. You don't even get a picture anymore, do you?
That's right.
Huh?
Not with rabbit ears. Chases a pitch up in the zone. Ransom down on strikes. Today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the 3 of us here in the booth for the Chevy part of the game. Text your vote to 58772. Today's candidates are number 1, Mark Ellis, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 3, Robinson Cano, number 4, Mark Teixeira. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. There's Derek Jeter, and he could further his candidacy with a big hit here. He had a big hit in the 6th inning, a 2-run single.
Michael, remember the rabbit? It's funny because if you didn't get good reception, you'd have to go up and wrap some like aluminum foil on one side of them to get a little bit better picture.
I would have to stand there and, like my father said, hold it like that.
That's right.
I'd stand there.
As soon as you walked away, you got a bad picture again.
And that's why I wasn't allowed to walk away. I had to stand there and hold the rabbit ears.
You were like a little satellite.
A not so little satellite. There's the old antenna. Top one of the Bronx buildings out here, just outside the stadium. The 0-1. Punched out toward first. Derek Barton knocks it down, steps on the bag, and that will do it. Here in the 7th inning as Springer gets out of trouble. No runs a hit, 2 men left. Let's take this baby to the 8th inning. Yankees up by 2. Yankees lead 7-5, top of the 8th inning. Phil Hughes in for his second inning of work. He worked a 1-2-3 7th, and Kurt Suzuki will start it off here in the 8th. 23 straight scoreless innings for Phil Hughes. And the 2-0 foul back.
Suzuki, you were talking about Ray Fosse, who does the TV for the A's every game. Loves Kurt Suzuki, high draft pick out of Cal State Fullerton, #1 pick for the A's. Not your prototypical catcher stature-wise. There's Ray Fosse.
Fosse was a good catcher, good hitter, and obviously the big story behind Ray Fosse is he was the catcher in the All-Star game that Pete Rose hit coming in to score, and pretty much changed his career. You know, kind of damaged his shoulder so much that he was really never the same. And the story behind that he and Pete Rose were actually friends, and it just it was one of those things where they, you know, both playing hard in the middle of an All-Star game, ended up kind of changing his career
big time.
Suzuki, the third straight strikeout victim of Phil Hughes.
This is just powder river right here. All fastballs, big, healthy, heavy cuts through the entire bat by Kurt Suzuki. Phil Hughes is saying, okay, go ahead, hit it.
That's good sound effects there, too.
I mean, that's all that is. That's a confident Phil Hughes saying, I've got a lot coming out of this arm right now. Let's see what you can do with it.
Count 1-0 to Sweeney. But the Yankees can hold on here. It's kind of homestand you dream of. 9-1 coming out of the All-Star break. They won the first 8. They lost yesterday. Their rally fell short in the bottom of the 9th. But they can go 9-1 with a victory here.
It's funny, as well as they're playing. I mean, didn't you have the feeling yesterday, Michael and Al, that, you know, as soon as you get a runner on in the 9th, that, all right, here we go again. They're going to win again. And it's just, it's not only the fans and us up here in the booth, that the players. You're almost surprised when you lose, and it's such a great feeling to be on a team where you come to the ballpark, take care of your business, and you expect to go out on that field every single day and win. It seems so easy when things are going well.
And the 1-2 from Hughes. Just got a piece to stay alive.
But isn't that the case? And then conversely, you end up having a bad stretch where just it's the here we go.
You know, it's from the first pitch, something starts going wrong. Yep. Somebody hurts themselves, or the pitcher doesn't have his good stuff, or, you know, you got rung up on a bad pitch, and somehow you look at the board, you're down 3-0. And
you'll see that even within at bats. That's why I mentioned Swisher's last at bat with the double to right field. The first pitch, home plate umpire Dan Isonia called a pitch that looked like a wave. You see Swisher look up like, it hasn't been tough enough right now. You're doing the pitcher for strikes that are balls.
I saw Swisher working on his stroke out there in right field. It kind of reminded me a little bit of some past times out there where you get a little idle time and start working on your stroke out in right field.
Pitchers appreciate that.
3-2. Shattered bat as Teixeira gets out of the way, and the bat ends up in right field. Let's take a look now at the Land Rover drive of the game. We have to go all the way back to the first inning, Paul.
Down 2-0. The Yankees get a big at bat from Robinson Cano. Bases loaded. 2 strike. Ball didn't quite get in. Everything he can, but he cleared the bases, but then he kind of went past third base and tagged out at third, so he gets credit for a 3-run double, which pretty much any time a player will take. All right?
33rd pitch for Hughes, and it's a walk. Now Hughes has been great, but you want to use him all the time as Dave Island comes out, and if he's going to have a 40-pitch outing, and you see 33 pitches so far, they're not going to be able to use him tomorrow against Tampa Bay, and those games against the Rays are important. They're all important, and I don't think they're going to let him go that much more over 40, and Mariano is ready in case they need a 4-out save. And that is Hughes' first walk here at the stadium as a reliever.
Well, you're right, Michael. You know, you get your relievers that can go 1 inning, maybe an inning and a third, keep that pitch count under 20. He's available tomorrow, as he did the first game of the series here on Thursday. He threw 2 innings, and Joe Girardi gave him 2 days off. Looks like he's coming up on this appearance again. We'll have to get a couple days off.
Foul back by Barton.
Must have missed a good catch, Michael. A lot of hooting and hollering over in that other booth.
Almost in the same spot.
Right back at him.
Never catch a foul ball as a fan in Cincinnati? UL?
Yes.
You did?
Really? You're at the stadium. Ron Gidgey threw it somewhere in the late 70s on the right field line.
Tell Gator that story when you met him? I was up in the stands, you threw a ball, the guy was late foul. I caught that foul ball.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Well, he wasn't allowed to talk to Gator until about 2 months into their relationship.
Yeah, it's about the third month that I was allowed to say hello.
Even look at him.
It was proctored by Rigetti, who would be the mediator and all.
And the 1-2. Count 2-2. Obviously, Al couldn't talk to Gator because he was a veteran.
Yeah,
you have to earn your
Love
spurs.
Gator. What a nice man. Great teammate. Looked up to him. I was in awe of the fact that I was in the same rotation as him. 3 years out of high school.
The 2-2. They're making Hughes work now and building up his pitch count to 38 as Posada goes out and tosses the right-hander. Give him a little bit of a breather as well. See what Barton's done so far. That single in the 4th inning was to right field. And Dave Island wants to check to see if Mariano is ready. He obviously is. He's been throwing for a while. Brian Bruni's also been throwing. 2-2. Line drive to right field. It is a base hit. That's going to go to the wall. Swisher will play it out there. Barton will go to second, and the A's are set up second and third with 1 out, and the Yankees' lead is just 2.
Barton getting a curveball here. See it hanging a little bit, going that down and in zone. You saw where Posada was setting up. Anything down and in, to most left-handed hitters, they like that spot. A little bit more of a slurve break to that curveball from Hughes.
Well, Hughes in danger of giving up his first run in 23-plus innings, and Joe Girardi not wanting to go to Mo for 5 outs, taking a chance and going to Bruni to get at least 1 out. car insurance.
Well, a beautiful ground ball from Vitre over to Derek Jeter. At the time the score is 4-3 Yanks. What a nice turn by Cano. Jeter going to his right. Quick snap throw by Cano. That is the Geico play of the game.
Well, Brian Bruni, after yesterday's performance, has moved up to a prominent role again. Yesterday went 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, but struck out 2 on 14 pitches, as he's trying to work his way back from 2 DL stints because of his elbow. And this, obviously, the game's on the line. At least the lead is on the line. Second and third, 1 man out. The infield will play back. Mark Ellis, we mentioned he's pesky. He's at the plate. Bobby Crosby is the pinch runner at second base because that's the tying run. They want to get him home on a single. Pitch outside. Now you might say, well, why not just go to Mariano? Well, if you get him for 5 outs today, you don't have him tomorrow. And now you don't have Phil Hughes tomorrow. You don't want to have a compromised bullpen against the Rays. The 1-0. There's a strike.
It's a difference in managing now and managing in the beginning of the season also, where you have a lot of days off. I mean, you throw usually, the second half of the season, the days off are few and far between. And, you really got to watch the way you use your bullpen a lot more, because there's not any breaks for the guys.
So the count 1-2. In the 6th inning, Ellis came up with a runner on and gave the A's the lead, a 2-run home run against Phil Coke. Put them up 5-4. Short-lived though, as the Yankees came back to 3 in the bottom of the 6th. Take a lead they have not relinquished. They lead 7-5. Bernie would love a strikeout here. And he gets one. 96 miles an hour and blew it right by Mark Ellis. And now Girardi's going to call on Mo.
Well, he got a few sliders, and you could see there, though. I think the slider set up that explosive fastball. Big out.
So Joe didn't want to get 5 outs, but he will get 4 outs with Mo. He'll bring in Rivera to go up against Eric Patterson. 2 outs, 2 on. Yankees leading by 2. Acura Advance, and by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. Well, they want 4 out from Mariano Rivera, and he will have to deal with Eric Patterson, or it looks like he's going to be a pinch hitter for Patterson. There'll be no more Garcia Parra against Mariano. So Joe kind of leaves himself open for a second guess. First, bringing in Bruni instead of Mo to get the 5 outs, and then Bruni blows the guy away, and then you go to Mo to get 4 outs. So I mean, if Mo gets to 4 outs, there'll be no second guessing. But if he doesn't, if he loses this guy, they'll say, well, why don't you stay with Bruno?
Well, the fact that they were both double barrel out there, Michael, you don't get Mariano Rivera up if you don't have intention of using him here in the 8th inning. And that was his intention. Or Mo wouldn't have been up, warming up with him.
And now No More is pinch hitting for Eric Patterson. These two have seen each other a lot. Swing and miss on the cutter.
Well, he's back 412, Mike. He said, see, but the last time he faced him was in 2004. Obviously, No More is not the same No More, and neither is Mariano.
Although Mariano's closer to that Mariano than No More is to that No More. Nubbed up the first baseline foul. Also, I would think, Paul, that coming up the bench to face a guy like Rivera cannot be easy.
This, in my mind, is the hardest part of baseball. The hardest role is to be a pinch hitter, especially when you're pinch hitting late in the game against the closer. You know, you guys both touched on. I mean, 5-6 years ago, this is one of the marquee matchups you could see at a baseball game. Mariano against Garcia.
Second and third, 2 outs. Yankees up by 2. Top of the 8th. Pitch. Right back to Rivera. So all the strategy works out for Girardi as Bruni strikes out Ellis and Rivera gets the pinch hitter Garcia. No runs a hit, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees up by 2.
Wednesday night, get your appetite ready as celebrity chef Emerald Lagasse sits down with Michael Kay on an all-new center stage. Emerald discusses his new book and new show and brings a surprise dish for Michael. This ought to be good, huh? It's an all-new center stage Wednesday night at 11, only on Yes. Bam! How's that? Huh?
Perfect.
Yeah?
Emerald would be proud. Brad Ziegler is the new pitcher for the A's. 3.05 ERA. They have a new first baseman as well. Bobby Crosby takes over there. And Rajay Davis takes over in center field for Eric Patterson. And the sidewinding right-hander deals a strike to Johnny Damon. How'd you do, Paul, against the Mike Myers of the world, the sidewinding left-hander?
The righties wasn't bad. The sidewinding lefties weren't real good. And then Mike Venafro from Texas was way down there. Mike Myers was way down there. Cook.
Dennis Cook?
Dennis Cook. He used to throw sidearm once in a while.
How was Jacoby?
I faced him at the end of his career. And again, he was a righty, so I could see the ball a little better.
Fly ball. Hairston battles the sun, makes the play, 1 away.
Well, this what makes him so tough, especially on righties. As Paul's saying, left-hander coming underneath, sidearm. Looks like it's coming out of his right pant leg.
You ever drop down out, go 3/4?
You know, I did. Later in my career, especially against a tough left-hander like a Paul O'Neill, just to change it up. For a guy that battled and had good at-bats, or if it got deep in the count and you just drop down, maybe that'll get it.
The guys that drop down every pitch, you got used to it. And the guys, like you were saying, that would do it one pitch in a count. Dennis Cook used to do that a lot. You'd get 2 strikes in your bat, and all of a sudden you drop down and you lose the ball and strike out. And it's a smart way to pitch, because if you do it time and time again, the hitter will expect it or look for it. But just out of nowhere to change your release point, it's tough on a hitter.
And it's a strike pitch. If you're doing like what you said,
you better throw a strike with it.
Yeah, because you're going to lock them up.
There's another base hit for Mark Teixeira. A fair ball goes into the corner, played out there by Sweeney. And Teixeira picks up his second hit of the afternoon. He's 2 for 5.
Again, not a bad pitch. Reaches out. Just hooks it down the line. Sometimes as a hitter, you do everything right, but you really don't have a great pitch to hit. But you stay in there long enough to hook that ball down the right field line. Good piece of hitting. Teixeira you just get used to him having good at-bats now. Especially with men on base.
I'll tell you, I can't believe we didn't look this up before, but Paul, you were just 4 for 21 against Al. That's 190.
I told you I didn't hit well against him.
But you did connect for a home run. Was it a biggie?
It was a big one, too. You know why? You remember it. We clinched the wild card that year when Mattingly was on the team in Toronto. Remember that? Right at the end of the season, we had to win like 7 or 8 games in a row.
You were on that Toronto team in '95?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gave up a home run to me. You better have been there.
That was the big home run too by Pat Kelly. Remember?
Yeah.
When everybody thought that Buck should pinch hit for
See,
him.
at heart, I was still a Yankee fan, so he just served one up for me. I appreciate that.
I was begging for outs. You kidding?
You were just happy to be on the mound again, right?
Well, 95 after.
Yeah, you had pitched a while, right?
93 World Series with the Jays, and
there's strike 1 and 2.
So the Yanks clinched in Toronto?
Mm-hmm. Clinched the wild card. They won 27-7 over the final 34 games. That home run by Paul was a 3-run shot at the top of the first on September 30th of '95.
See? Brought you right back to that spot, didn't I, Michael? Man, I'm glad I was right there. Ryan's over here trying to dig deep to make me look bad.
Well, after you started the series with you appearing in the 1961 movie,
right.
And then on to the Bronx's
I just wanted to make sure all the viewers were awake. Yeah?
Oh, that woke them up. Yeah, if you had dropped back to saying, it wasn't those two, it was Pride of the Yankees. I was sitting next to Bill Dickey, yeah.
That might have been my last game.
Hanging out alongside William Bendix in the Babe Ruth story. Three-two.
Off-speed pitch, and again, there's that one time from a lefty point of view, you're facing a righty, everything's kind of sinking away, and all of a sudden you take a lot off of it, just change speeds from the same angle, get Georgie way out in front.
Change-up, beautiful change-up. Pulls the string.
And here is Matsui at an RBI single in the first inning. 1 for 3 with a walk. Foul back. Matsui on this homestand, 4 for 27. But you really don't care if the Yankees go 9-1. I'm sure he's not going to be lamenting the fact that he was just 4 for 27 on the stand.
Ball.
The two been ticked off.
4 for 27 keeps going on over in your mind. Like, they could be doing a little bit more. Yeah.
Start playing cards early.
That's right. He did get a hit early in the game, driving in a run.
So you would have convinced yourself if you'd had a better home center to get a 10 at all.
Yeah, possibly. But I feel better going into the series tomorrow in Tampa if I was a little better before for 27.
Sun shining really for the first time all day. Kind of burns through the clouds, so the forecasted showers have not appeared at all, thankfully. Looks like we'll get this whole game in.
Yeah, there's Schleprock there. See that? See the bad luck Michael talks about? The clouds, all of a sudden the clouds start accumulating out there in the outfield.
What'd you call it? Schleprock.
Schleprock.
Let's see if it rains. If it doesn't, then take that back.
All right, I'll call you tomorrow. All right?
The ones who text me. Pitches outside, 2-2. See, but that's bad, though. You call me Schleprock in front of millions of people watching, and you'll text me tomorrow. It's only between me and you. I'm sorry.
Like you won't bring it up or something, just to feel good about yourself. But I have no way of knowing what you'll say.
And the count 3-2. We'll be watching tomorrow. From Cincy.
Now that I know that new computer thing and I'm on the go and I don't want to miss a game, I can just fire that computer up and tune right in. Who are you working with tomorrow, Kenny?
Kenny
will probably have 18 holes under his belt by game time.
Foul boy.
It's usually where you catch up on your suntan, isn't it? Down in St. Pete?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hot. We'll see the bronze Michael K on the air tomorrow night. Please tune in.
Was that on the promo sheet?
That was right off the top of my head, Mike. I was looking for the sheet. It wasn't there.
(3-2). Matsui battling. Bashara is starting to get a little tired out there.
Okay. Doing stretching, yoga.
Ziegler looks as if he's going to win that battle. Drifting back is Davis, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 8th. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man live. Last chance for the A's. They'll do it against Mo. Well, it's time to announce the Chevy Player of the Game, as voted on by you, the fans, and the three of us here in the booth. Al.
Robinson Cano in the first inning. This was with 2 outs. This is his first game that he's had more than 2 RBIs since June 14th. 52 RBIs on the year, making some stellar plays. This was a nice turn, quick flip throw, double play, helped defense out in this ball game. Robinson Cano, the Chevy Player of the Game.
And Mariano on to try to get the final 3 outs of this game. He got the final out of the 8th. Adam Kennedy swings and misses. At Fenway Park, the Orioles beat the Red Sox 6-2, so the Yankees hold on. They will have a 2.5 game lead over the Red Sox. They will have a 6.5 game lead over Tampa Bay. So the Yankees open up the second half of the season 3 games behind the Red Sox. And in this homestand, if they hold on, they would have picked up 5.5 games. So that's a productive 10-game homestand. The 1-1. Line drive foul. After the final out, you have to stick around for the WB Mason postgame. Nancy Newman is back in the studio for a complete wrap-up of this series against the A's and also a look around the majors. Plus, Kimberly Jones will talk to everybody in the clubhouse. It's the Emmy Award-winning WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. And the 1-2. Strike 3. Kennedy down looking. And he does not agree.
You see the pitch by pitch, and it's all set up by these cutters in off the plate. And now I don't know if you know how uncomfortable it is to face Mariano from the left side, but all of a sudden that outside corner is wide open, set up by the 3 inside cutters. Pinpoint control, and that's the thing that amazes me, is how he can hit his target day in, day out for the last, 15 years?
Well, he's the best of any pitcher that I saw live that could repeat his delivery consistently every time. He's very robotic in that sense, and it's really terrific to watch. I mean, you hear about guys in timing and rhythm and their delivery, and they're off. At least point, if you watch Mariano, I know Yankee fans have been watching for years, it's the same delivery. Come up with a little two-seamer, the sinker. As over the years, he's evolved into not only the cutter in lefty, and then he gets the cutter away. Just close, his knee comes up, nice and easy through the baseball. Doesn't look very complicated, but he repeats it.
The funny thing is, Al, you always talk about pitching. As I got older, I did this, I did. Mo didn't have to. He just continually gets. I mean, he has added a two-seamer, but he continually just throws cutters and just buries people.
You know, the cutter is such an unusual pitch, and it's evolved from basically an overthrown slider, or fastball that guy got around a little bit. He's perfected as good as anybody in the history of this game. But what he has done is that he was primarily away on the righty and in on the lefty, but as we saw with Kennedy, he'll come on the other side of the plate.
And a strikeout of Cabrera, so the A's down to their final out.
This is the patented Mariano starts. Look where that is, and there's not a dot. Hitters will talk about seeing a little red dot, and they can identify that. That ball just continues to just slice away from the barrel of the bat, and then it's too late. At that point, Cabrera just hopes he can foul it off.
Here's Scott Hairston trying to keep it alive for the A's. Each team with 12 hits. Yankees are leading 7-5. 0-1. And how the cutter came to be, a lot of different stories, but I asked Buck Showalter, who was the manager of the Yankees, when Mo came up. He said he was just thrown in the outfield, and the ball had a natural cut. We said, how'd you do that? He said, well, that's just the way I throw. And then some people perfected it, Billy Connors, people like that. He said, but it was just by accident in the outfield. He was thrown in the outfield. This could do it. Ground ball to Ransom. And the Yankees win 7-5. Robinson Cano with a big day. Mariano Rivera picks up his 511th lifetime save. His 41st straight save at home and his 25th straight save this season. These are the American League East standings right now following the Yankees' 7-5 victory. They're 2.5 ahead of the Red Sox, 6.5 ahead of the Rays. Then there's the Blue Jays and the Orioles. So Mariano Rivera gets the final 4 outs of this game as Joe Girardi uses Koch, Hughes, Bruni, and Rivera. Koch will get the win. Sergio Mitre, the pitcher that started the game, lasted just 5 innings. So a homestand for the Yankees, one that they will remember for a long time. They won 9 of the 10 games. They picked up 5.5 games in the standings over the Boston Red Sox. And right now, as the Yankees will head out on a 9-game, 10-day road trip, all is right in the pinstripe world for Joe Girardi and his clan. The Yankees have done a good job with pitching. The bullpen has been splendid, clutch hitting, some big home runs, and good defense as the Yankees win 9 out of 10. And the man who seems to be on the mound for most of these victories at the end, Mariano Rivera, joins our very own Kimberly Jones. Kim?
That's right. He's ready to go, Michael. We need to go. Mariano, any homestand that has 6 saves by you is a good one. This has been particularly good, right?
Great. I mean, we're playing good. We're playing good baseball. Pitching, hitting, defense. That's what it is. I mean, we have to continue doing that, and we'll be fine.
Now, when you say we're playing good and you have that look in your eye, what's this reminding you of? Previous teams you've been on?
Oh, we are way better than that. We're seeing guys fighting, giving everything that they have, and that's what it is all about. We come to the ballpark to give everything that we have.
Today it was Koch, Hughes, Bruni. How much confidence are you having in the guys who are getting the ball to you?
Those guys doing a tremendous job. I can be no more proud than to see these guys going there and doing their job. It's tremendous.
We've talked a lot about the fills, but Bruni tells us his confidence is good, Mariano, but I get the feeling that 1 out today was big for him in a game situation like it was.
Definitely was great. Like I said, all the guys, when they come into the game, they have one thing in mind, and that's get people out.
You guys picked up 5.5 games since the All-Star break on the Red Sox. You might very well look back on this 10-game stretch as a very big one in defining your season, right?
Well, hopefully. But the thing is that we have to continue playing. We cannot look back. We have to look forward, and whatever happens, it's up to us.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mariano. Guys, I'll let you digest all of that.
Thank you, Kim. So he was in a rush, and Kim took her time, asked every question she wanted. And she got all the answers as well. Mariano saves 12 of the Yankees' last 17 wins, including this one, 7-5 over the A's. We'll be back to make sense of it in a moment.